All right. It's like, wait.
What's good, yo? We back, RTTV podcast. And if it's your first time in, I promise you it definitely won't be your last. So make sure you kill, murder, and smash that subscribe button. And welcome to episode 24 of the RTTV podcast.
Facts.
We're reporting live from the beautiful California. In the beautiful studio today. It's feeling good because we got a special guest, someone that's been traveling the world, killing the content game for over 10 plus years.
Damn!
10 plus years.
Look at this intro. This is fire. I love this.
You hear him in the background right now. We're about to introduce the man himself, one of our favorite guests, Roger Bay.
Thank you very, very much.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me back a third time. I know I'm always a good view draw. I always have to say some controversial One Piece opinions, so I think we're going to have a fun today.
Now, you know we love when you're here. We love when we get to talk to you. And it's been, I think the last time he was here was 2023, so it's been a long
It's
time.
been a minute.
Yeah.
We got a lot to catch up on. So much to catch
I
up
feel like
on.
last time I was here was when I spoiled you guys on Yamato not joining accidentally.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is what happened.
I still wake up from my sleep because of that.
I feel like you came in
I'm
knowing
so
that she was going to
sorry.
spoil us.
It's like an annual
I
thing.
promise I did not. When you guys were like, hey, you guys, you're caught up to the anime, I'm like, that's great. We can have a discussion about this. And then, bam.
I think there's a spoiler coming today too, guys. Stay tuned.
Wait on it.
No. Don't speak that to existence.
But we see you've been traveling so much. Tell us, we seen that you went to the Nintendo Museum in Tokyo. So how's it been traveling the world these last 2 years?
It's been crazy. I mean, I've been traveling a lot recently. We were at Kyoto, the opening of the Nintendo Museum that would have been last September or August. Went to the grand opening of Donkey Kong Land at Nintendo World. That's over in Epic Universe. So I went to the grand opening for that. Just came back from New York for a very special event that you guys are going to see next week, which is pretty cool. I'm going to an undisclosed place in Europe in a couple weeks, which is going to be crazy. And then I'm going back to Japan in November. So it's been a lot of travel.
Wow. He's stacking up those airline miles, man.
Bro.
Yeah. And we've seen exactly from all that traveling, we've seen that you've been creating so much dope content. Congratulations on over 500, almost 600,000 subscribers on YouTube.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, the growth game has been kind of crazy over the past couple of years. I feel like, 2 years ago, right before I was on the last show, right, is when we had that big hack happen to the channel where everything basically got deleted. I had to re-upload everything, and I lost all those subscribers, and I had to get everything back. But no, we climbed back better than ever. I'm sure a large part of that is thanks to you guys, being a guest on the show and getting the name back out there and people finding it. So once again, big thanks for that. And it's been great. I'm excited to be back and talk One Piece and Boruto and, make fun of some of your takes, convince you guys who's top 10 and who's trash. So
We got a lot of that to get to. But before we get into that, a lot's been going on in the gaming world. So we got to get into some gaming talk first.
Yeah, so we want to pick your brain. A lot of gaming stuff has been happening. We've seen Gamescom trailers, and we've seen your reaction to the Kirby Air Riders. So give me some of your thoughts on that. What do you expect? Is it just another racing game? I know we've seen the trailer. We see that it's not, but I know a lot of people are thinking similar to that. Are we just getting another Mario Kart world? Break it down to us.
All right. So first off, have any of you guys played the original Kirby Air Ride at all?
I have not.
No, I
don't think I have.
I've never played it, no.
No one. Okay. So essentially it is Fortnite before Fortnite was a thing, where you would get dropped into the city and you would have to take each other out. You'd have 5 minutes to basically collect a bunch of different power-ups for your Warp Star, then go race against other people, fight bosses, do all this crazy stuff, play against your friends. It was such a fun mode, and it's one of those things that they never ended up making another Air Ride. It's been 22 years since the last Kirby Air Ride game. 22 years. Literally, people in my audience have grown up, graduated high school, graduated college, got married, and had kids since the last time the Kirby Air Ride came out. So it is a massive deal that this game is coming back out. And based on everything we saw in that direct yesterday, it looks amazing. In Sakurai, I trust. That man makes all the Smash Brothers games. He knows how to make a good multiplayer game. And obviously, Switch 2 just came out. We had Mario Kart World. We had Donkey Kong Bonanza. I feel like even removed from Nintendo, there's been great stuff recently. We had like Expedition 33, if you guys haven't played it, which is that
Banger.
really good French game. Absolutely amazing game. And, the bangers are going to keep coming. We got Metroid later this year. We got Kirby later this year. We've got Metal Gear literally next week. We've got Death Stranding just recently came out as well, too. So it's just like there's not enough time to play everything that you want to play.
Ain't
But,
that a fact?
I've been squeezing it in, making that content. Yeah.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about Pokemon, because we've seen that you were in at Pokemon Worlds this past weekend.
I was.
Are you excited about of Pokemon Legends ZA? I see a lot of negativity about how the game looks, how it should look. What are your thoughts on that?
I feel like a lot of that negativity is like stemming from the Scarlet and Violet games, right? Because those games, obviously, when they first came out, weren't the best graphically, right? Had a lot of technical issues. And I think there were just a lot of people who are now going into Pokemon kind of like wanting to hate it. And, the nice thing is that the next major generation of Pokemon, which is going to be coming out, I believe, they haven't like actually announced it now that I'm thinking about it. But my assumption is it's probably going to be next holiday season. Is my guess, right? They usually come out like clockwork. If that does end up happening, my guess is that'll be on Switch 2, so it'll naturally run better. And, ZA is kind of this crossover game coming out between Switch 1 and Switch 2. And, Legends Arceus people loved, so I feel like ZA is probably going to be a similar situation. I feel like the games that people had an issue with were the mainline ones, whether it was like Scarlet and Violet with all the tech issues, or Sword and Shield, like cutting the Pokedex in half. So I feel like, I don't know, we're on an upswing when it comes to Pokemon right now. So I'm feeling pretty optimistic.
And Roger, we know you're a big Pokemon fan and stuff. And other than Joel here, a lot of us at this table are Digimon fans.
Yeah.
Are very big Digimon fans. Digimon over Pokemon.
That doesn't surprise me. Yeah,
we like good stuff. But Joel is getting us into Pokemon, and he just got us to battle in Pokemon Stadium. And I could say, I'm not gonna lie, I've been missing out. And I'm journeying into Pokemon right now. He's introducing us, and I want to know if he's doing the right, like, is it the proper stuff? So we played Pokemon Stadium, and what was the movie we watched?
We watched Pokemon 2000 and Pokemon the first movie. So those were our first two. We've been really getting into it lately. Have we started off the right way?
Yeah, I feel like if you watch the first two movies, you're playing Pokemon Stadium, Pokemon Stadium 2, some of the stuff that's like on NSO, the classic games, you're probably in the right position. I feel like you don't want to start off playing the original Gen 1 or Gen 2 games, because I feel like those games have kind of aged somewhat poorly, right? I would recommend, if you're going to play like a mainline Pokemon game that also captures like the magic of those original couple generations, play Let's Go. Let's Go is like pretty simple to pick up. It's on Switch. Obviously, it's playable on Switch 2, runs better on Switch 2. I'd say that would probably be your best foray into like a mainline Pokemon game. But I'd say until then, if you want to play Pokemon games that aren't RPGs, yeah, play your stadiums. Snap is available on NSO, Pokemon Snap, that's on there. Pokemon Puzzle League is on NSO as well. So, some of the spin-off games are maybe a good place to start.
So
I was gonna say, because what we did, right? We on our gaming channel, we ran like a quick little tournament on Pokemon Stadium.
Yep.
The world hasn't seen that yet, but we rented a couple Pokemon. We got to choose any Pokemon we wanted, and we kind of ran a tournament there. It was pretty fun. I'm not gonna lie.
Nice.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Who won? You want to spoil the upcoming content?
We can't disclose
Are you trying to spoil that one, Roger?
Yeah.
That's we're not even at One Piece yet.
That's why I'm trying to get the spoilers out of the way so I don't spoil one. I don't want to
spoil our content. So, Roger.
Yes.
Quick question for you. So, with all of the new games that have been coming out with the Switch 2, do you think that they should bring back a Nintendo original and release it for the Switch 2? Such, for example, like, we haven't had a Star Fox for a very, very long time. Do you think that Nintendo should make a new version of that game, or any Nintendo original that we haven't had in a long time?
Okay, for Star Fox is a weird case, right? Because the last Star Fox game we got was Zero, that was on Wii U, and that game is one of the biggest pieces of horrible, something I'm not going to say in case Nintendo's watching. That game is like one of the first party games Nintendo has ever made. And so if the next Star Fox game is anything like Star Fox Zero, I actually would rather that franchise stay dead. However, I love Star Fox. I grew up with Star Fox. I love Star Fox 64, Star Fox Assault, even Star Fox Adventures. I feel like if they went back to what made that series good, which is back when the series was like the height of the graphical capability of the Nintendo systems, right? Where like the games were really pretty, you had the orchestrated soundtracks, you had great multiplayer modes. That's kind of the direction they have to go in. But if they're just going to try to rehash like, Star Fox 64 or the original Star Fox again, like I said, I'd rather it stay dead. If you're going to bring back a big Nintendo original that's not Star Fox, though, like something we haven't seen in a long time, I know this is going to be a weird choice. I kind of want a new Punch-Out game. We haven't had Punch-Out.
Wouldn't be bad.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at that.
Yeah, I feel like they can
Especially
incorporate real boxers.
Merge it. Yes. Well, plus you have the Joy-Cons with the motion control, so you can maybe incorporate the stuff they did with ARMS, build it up, have a good online mode, maybe have some kind of competitive battling mode as well. Plus having, the thing that made Punch-Out great in the first place, which is like all of the little puzzle mechanics of like trying to figure out the best way to fight the guys. So I think Punch-Out would be really fun. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm weird. I was hoping that you were going to say Custom Robo, but I don't know.
Oh, Custom Robo's fire, actually. And fun fact, Custom Robo is probably going to be releasing sooner rather than later on the GameCube NSO. Yeah.
Oh.
Exclusive.
Yeah, I need more of those. What else are we getting?
I love
Custom Robo, the original Custom Robo on N64 is actually already on NSO if you have a Japanese subscription. You can really just log on your Switch and play it right now if you have a Japanese account. But Custom Robo, the first time it got revealed in North America was a GameCube game, and GameCube has now been added to NSO for Switch Online. And so they're probably going to be adding Custom Robo sooner rather than later to GameCube Online, which also means you can play the game online too. So yeah.
Okay.
You're good.
And since we're in the realm of discussing Nintendo games, I know this might be a difficult question because you're a real connoisseur of Nintendo games and all that.
Sure.
But what would you say is your favorite Nintendo game of all time? And if you can't select one, give us like two or three.
I would say my number one of all time is Super Metroid for the Super Nintendo. That game has
I can't be
aged
mad at that.
so well. It's really replayable. It's got great music. It's got great atmosphere. So I would say Super Metroid's probably number one. In terms of like recent releases, obviously Tears of the Kingdom, Breath of the Wild, both of those are great. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, incredible. Fire Emblem Three Houses, fantastic. All the Xenoblade games. Donkey Kong Bonanza. Like there's been a lot of good stuff in the Switch going into Switch 2 era, but I feel like the overall classic, has got to be Super Metroid.
So does that mean that like Metroid, a new one coming out, is your more like highly favored game that you can say you're anticipating? No.
Now I am excited for Metroid Prime 4. I cannot wait to play that game, but I feel like I am way more excited for Kirby Air Riders because again, we've been waiting 22 years for the next game in that, and that game is developed by Sakurai, and Sakurai's the GOAT. He makes all the Smash Brothers games, and the sooner that game comes out, the sooner we'll get another Smash Brothers. So
Okay.
Yeah, I'm dying for that game.
exactly, that's what I'm waiting for, man. Yeah.
Would you have preferred another Smash over this, or?
No.
Okay.
Because again, we can still play Smash Ultimate on Switch too, right? Like you can still play the game. You still have all those, amazing characters that got added. I would rather he go back to Air Ride, give us a new one, and then give us a new Smash. Yeah.
And before we get into the One Piece, we got one last question to ask you. This is a game that we like to play. I'm gonna name Pokemon. We're gonna have two people naming Pokemon, and you're gonna have to start, bench, or cut. So the Pokemon I'm gonna add to that list for me is Mewtwo.
Mewtwo, Arceus.
I'm gonna say Charizard.
So between those three, Mewtwo,
Arceus, and Charizard. Start, bench, and cut.
Yes.
To end off the Pokemon and Nintendo combo.
And I got another question on the Pokemon then too that I just wanted to hear your thoughts on it.
Okay. I'm gonna bench Mewtwo. I'm gonna bench Mewtwo. I love Mewtwo.
You my dog. You my dog, Roger.
I'm benching Mewtwo. I feel like they do a lot of stuff with Charizard nowadays. I think he's slightly overrated. I'm gonna cut Charizard.
Damn.
Why would you not have? Arceus is literally God. Are you saying you'd cut Jesus? You want to
Well, when you put it like that, Roger.
You can't cut him. And you can't bench Jesus.
You
God is
know,
good
you can't.
all the time. God is good
In the game.
I agree.
Star player.
Yeah, no way.
And just from Pokemon fan to Pokemon fan, what are your thoughts on Mega Dragonite?
I think it's ugly, bro. Stay dead. I hate it. Not a fan. I'm excited to see what other megas they end up revealing for ZA, but I feel like for the most part, yeah, Mega Dragonite is not it. And we've waited so long for Mega Dragonite for it to be this like dumb, goofy wings on his head thing that they just keep promoting. It's like, stop trying to make Dragonite happen. He's not going to happen, man. Original Dragonite was so good. Why would you make him goofy? It's just.
I hope they give him like a second Mega form or something. It was just to tease us.
They're not gonna.
Yeah.
Not gonna happen. So,
yeah. So
good luck.
Now it's time to get into something that we all cherish, something that we all love, which each year somehow it keeps getting bigger, better, faster, and more impressive each moment. We're talking about the show that brings a lot of people together, the show that's bringing the world together. We're talking about the One Piece.
The one and only.
One Piece. One Piece.
Yeah, everybody in the chat right now, make sure y'all sending y'all super chats. We're going to get to them in the back end of this conversation, so we'll definitely be reading y'all super chats. We are not forgetting about you. But, Roger, episode 1140, goodness gracious. Like, Dory and Broggy are here. Vegapunk said this is a time that people have been waiting centuries for. How did you feel about this episode, and how do you feel about where we are right now in Egghead?
I feel like the Egghead anime is the best the anime's been in a very, very long time. Like, pacing-wise, I think it's really good. It's clear the entire Kuma flashback that recently just happened was also, like, incredibly well done, right?
Yep.
Great music, great emotional beats. I feel like the animation quality has also, like, really gotten a bump. I feel like End of Wano looked really good, and then for a little while there, from the end of Wano going into Egghead, it kind of fell off slightly. But then I feel like, yeah, once we actually got into the main action of Egghead with, like, you know, Gear 5 Luffy versus Lucci, and then some of the stuff with Kuma, and now the stuff coming up with, like, Saturn and with Dory and Broggy, it's just been absolutely incredible. I'll tell you, like, the way that I felt when I first read the manga chapter that the episode was based on was just like, oh my God, we're actually going to get to Elbaf now, right? Like, seeing the Giants for so long, you hear them talking about Elbaf, you hear them talking about the Giants, but realistically, like, I feel like it always felt so far away for those of us that were One Piece fans, and now it's like, oh no, it's coming up. Like, we're eventually going to get there. This is great. And again, Dory and Broggy are great characters, but I can't get too much into it because I feel like if I get into power scaling discussions about, like, Dory and Broggy and things that are coming up, people are going to get upset at me for spoiling you guys. So
we do want to
hear the fifth on that one.
We do want to hear some power scaling up until this point, if you can do that.
Sure.
You know, like,
okay, so, I'll tell you right now. Okay. Apparently, you guys don't think that Blackbeard is top 10.
I think I had Blackbeard top 10.
I had him top 5.
I think I had him. I know I definitely had him top 10.
I don't know, Robbie.
Who was the guy in the chat that kept spamming? I think someone in the chat right when I got here.
I definitely had him top 10.
Someone in the chat, literally right when I got here, was like, convince them that Blackbeard is top 10. I'm like, why would they think Blackbeard's not top 10?
I swear I had him in top 10. Even
so
if my list was
check your list.
I'm like, what's going on?
Wait, did I lie?
And my list was crazy.
I didn't have Zoro top 10, and we know why. The guy's never.
He's not top 10.
That's facts. He's not top 10.
He's not top 10.
Yeah. That's right.
And Mihawk's way better than him, right?
I got him my top 10.
Yeah. Pat has him in his top 10.
What'd you say?
You have him in his top 10, you said?
Correct. I have him at number 8.
Good. That's good. Eight's probably where I would place him, actually, realistically. I think that's a good place to place him. I would say, yeah, Zoro is definitely not top 10.
What about Mihawk?
Sure, currently. No, Mihawk's higher than Zoro. But you also have to remember, like, the way that power scaling works with One Piece, which is unfortunate, but this is just the truth of the matter. One Piece is not a series like a Naruto or a Dragon Ball. The truth of the matter is, Oda has said this multiple times, like, whatever he needs to do to make Luffy win is what's going to happen. So realistically, at the end of the day, like, power scaling does not matter because you're especially stuff that's coming up in the manga, like that you guys are going to see next year, which again, I'm not going to get into. There are a lot of characters that are like fleshed out in terms of their backstories. And you start to realize like, whoa, wait a minute. We have all this off. Right? Like, this older generation was potentially way more hyped than the current generation that we've got now.
Way
and
more,
bro. It recontextualizes a lot of stuff that basically you're experiencing currently. So it's tough to talk about it without getting into spoilers. But I will say, honestly, like, at the end of the day, power scaling with One Piece in particular is almost irrelevant because whoever Oda wants to see win, Oda's going to make win. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like he even said this with Kaido, right? Like in the lead up to the fight with Kaido, he openly said he had no idea when writing Wano how he was going to have Luffy beat Kaido and that it wouldn't just be relegated to a giant punch. And what happened? He went Gear 5 and he beat Kaido with a giant punch. So it's, Oda lies a lot, and Oda, I feel like, sometimes writes himself into a corner with the power of these characters. But yeah, I mean, realistically, Mihawk is going to be above Zoro until Zoro beats Mihawk.
Is he top 10?
Very simple fact.
Is Mihawk top 10?
Yeah.
I have to think about it. Again, without spoiling, I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to preface for the chat because the chat's going to get mad at me. I will preface that I'm going to scale based on where you are exactly in the story at this exact moment.
Yeah.
Episode 1140, this point of Egghead Island. Shanks obviously is like top 3 easily.
Yes,
That's a fact.
and that's over Mihawk, right? That's over Mihawk,
Yes,
right, Roger?
that's over Mihawk.
That's really what I want to know.
What?
I want to know
damn
like the answer.
straight.
Wait, that's
a
not
fact.
true.
I would say Blackbeard is probably like at 8. I think 8 is a good place to put him if you're going to do like a top 10. Blackbeard's like good around 8. It's tough. The Yonko, like, it's weird because, again, Big Mom and Kaido, right, were so strong, and it took all these characters to take them down. But realistically, Luffy beat Kaido, right? And by proxy, because of Law and Kid, essentially could have beaten Big Mom. So I would say Luffy has to be up there as well.
Yep.
But I would say that Luffy currently, where you guys are right now, probably would not be able to beat Blackbeard. So I would say he'd probably be at like 9. I would probably say like Blackbeard, Luffy, Mihawk would be like your 8, 9, 10.
Okay.
I would say Shanks would be super high up there. I would still say, despite the fact that Luffy beat Kaido, that Kaido would be higher than a lot of these characters.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Kaido fought all of the scabbards, right? Fought everybody on the roof, beat Luffy twice beforehand, and it took Oda like writing literally the most ridiculous power on the planet to stop Kaido. And I still don't even think Kaido is dead. I still think we're going to see some weird situation with like Yamato going to Mount Fuji or whatever in Wano and like discovering a fossilized Kaido down there and like bringing Kaido back. So I don't know. The Admirals, I think Akainu, I mean, Oda has outright said that if Akainu went for the One Piece, he would discover it within a year.
Damn.
Wow.
He's got it pretty high up there.
Yeah, I think highly of him.
Dragon.
Yeah.
Dragon's got to be up top 10 as well. We haven't seen anything, which makes him tough to scale. But realistically, I mean, like, Dragon's the most wanted man in the entire verse. Like, naturally, he's got to be up there.
See, that's what I say.
I feel you.
I'm trying to think who else. Who are some characters that I'm forgetting? I feel like it's probably easier to answer based on who you're telling me, and I can try to like place the
Emu.
Yeah.
Okay, Emu's obviously one currently.
Okay.
Yeah.
Emu is obviously alive is currently one, and that's not even going into things that are happening in the story later. Emu is definitely one, right? Emu is like the height of the world government, has potentially the strongest devil fruit in the entire series, has, you know, I can't say that. I can't say what I was about to say. But I would say there is clearly, for those of you that are at this current point in the anime, right, there's clearly a connection between Emu and the Gorosei, right?
Correct.
The Gorosei bow to Emu, and the Gorosei are very clearly strong, right? You've got Saturn showing up, regenerating, taking all of these hits, like wiping out everybody, poisoning people. So I would say, yeah, Emu's got to be above them.
Garland.
That's what I was going to
Garland.
ask.
And Garland.
I'm going to tell you something. I feel like Garling is kind of overhyped.
Oh.
I feel like people want Garling to be super legit. And I feel realistically like we're probably going to get a situation, Final War, where like you've got Garling versus Dragon. I think Dragon's wiping Garling, man.
That'll be fire to see.
When you get to the top of the I can't get into that either. But Wells, you know what I'm thinking?
Yes.
You know what I'm thinking right now? Like I can't get into it, but I feel like Garling is slightly overrated. And I think a lot of people are hyping him up because he is Shanks' father and obviously went toe-to-toe with a lot of these characters back in the day and potentially has a power boost coming up as well, right, for the anime. But realistically, I think Garling, where you are currently, is not top 10.
Okay.
Do you think Kuma is top 20? Where would you rank Kuma right now where we are with him?
Where you are right now, absolutely not. No.
Oh, he's not top 20.
He's got the power. No, not where you are right now in the story.
Okay.
I feel like obviously he's got the power of love. He's punching Saturn. You know, you've got these great emotional beats with him. But again, you have to remember he's basically like a machine that doesn't know what he's doing, that can't control his powers, that realistically, once you actually start getting into the thick of stuff with what's about to go down in Egghead Island, which again is tough to talk around for where you are, he's not top 20. No.
Nice.
So now that we're on the topic of Kuma, would you say that the Kuma backstory was the most tragic backstory in all of anime?
That's what the internet.
All of anime.
That's what the internet.
Is saying.
The internet does like to glaze One Piece. You know,
I appreciate it.
and I say that as a One Piece fan. But they do like to glaze One Piece a lot. It's certainly one of the best in all of One Piece, right? I think like there is, when it comes to One Piece fans, I feel like they don't really have a lot of critical thinking skills a lot of the time, and have a very much have a recency bias. And so I think they see the thing in front of them and are like, this is the best thing I've ever seen, but then like forget all the things that happened before, right? I feel like the Kuma flashback is definitely top 5 in terms of all the flashbacks in One Piece, like definitely without a doubt. In One Piece is a top 5 flashback. I would even potentially argue like top 3, but all of anime ever, I don't know about that one, Chief.
That's why I love you.
Who's a better father, Kuma or Goku?
What?
I mean, Kuma, obviously.
Wait,
That's a fact. I could
Yeah,
I watch Dragon Ball Z, and I feel like that was
Of course.
blasphemous.
Are you kidding?
I could answer
Kuma's
that
like
question.
Kuma's one of the best fathers in all of One Piece. The dude literally gave himself up to the world government to allow for a cure for his daughter that we just found out in the anime, right? Saturn's like, I had a self-destruct button. I was going to kill him afterwards anyway, right? And he still did it. He still knew the government was probably not going to keep their promise, but he did it anyway. He did his best to write to Bonnie every single day. You know, the things that are coming up in Egghead Island, you'll see he's a great father. He flew in, you know, teleported himself from Marijoa all the way over to Egghead Island to protect Bonnie right in the heat of that moment, right as Saturn was about to kill her. No, dude, like, he's great.
Goku taught his son how to turn Super Saiyan.
Stop it.
I mean,
Did you just watch what this man Kuma just did?
That's a great thing that he did.
And shout out to Vegapunk too, though, because you know
Goku did sacrifice himself for his son and his family.
Also, I also need to clarify something because I'm already seeing the chat doing it. All right, I have to clarify this for these stupid people that don't remember how things work. All right, Garling was confirmed to be Shanks' father a long time ago. That is not a spoiler. That is they have the same last name. That is not a spoiler. So people going, you're spoiling Shanks' father. That is not something that's coming up in the anime. That is absolutely something that people know that is Shanks' father. Now, I will not give anything into what happens to Garling in the future, right? That obviously would be a spoiler. Yeah. But you guys all know that that's Shanks' dad.
We knew that. Trust me. You would have reacted like, whoa.
Yeah, of course. And that dates back to film Red, right? Where
exactly.
The reveal that Shanks' last name is Garling. So like, y'all are tripping in the chat. You got to
y'all tripping in the chat too.
It's like I don't know what is going on.
So you said Kuma's backstory is could be top 3. So what is in One Piece? So what is your favorite backstory in One Piece, or have we not gotten to it yet?
I mean, I love Corazon. I think the Corazon Law Doflamingo flashback is like incredibly well paced, is super tragic, sets up a great future for Law, right? Shows what a great father figure Corazon was, right? That moment where Corazon dies and then finally you hear Law's screams again, like, dude, so good. I'm also like a sucker for Chopper's flashback. I feel like the Chopper flashback with Hiluluk, him, saying, when does a man die? When he's eating, when he eats a poison mushroom? No, a man dies when he's forgotten. Chopper feeding him the mushroom and like it not mattering anyway and him drinking it. So good. I would say, Kuma's definitely top 3 in One Piece, for sure. I would say Kuma is for sure up there. But those two are the first ones that come to mind when I'm not really thinking about it. I think of Corazon and I think of Hiluluk and Chopper. I love those. Yeah.
Okay, my next question for you, Roger, would be: we see Oda does use some break. He used a big break this year, in the middle of the Egghead arc. And when I looked back and I thought about part 1 to part 2, the foreshadowing in part 1 to part 2, do you think like the places that where he placed that break was elite pacing for the show? And how did you feel about what they did with the previous arcs and everything they did with that One Piece during that break?
That's a really good question and a multi-part question. I'm going to start by saying the new version of Fishman Island is so trash. It's terrible. I thought there's no way. I thought there is no way they could possibly make Fishman Island worse, right? But there were like weird moments of over animation. There were weird things that were cut. The lighting was bizarre. I feel like the pacing was still just as bad as it was the first time I watched it in the anime. So I feel like realistically that redo of Fishman Island, I don't know what they were thinking with that. I feel like bro was not cooking.
The arc is just bad. That's why.
It's well, there's good moments. There's good moments in Fishman Island, but I wouldn't say it's outright bad. I will say this. I don't think there is a single bad arc in all of One Piece. I think there are arcs where there are more bad things than good things. Wano is one of them, and we'll get to that a little bit later. But I feel like Fishman Island is not overall bad. You know, I wouldn't say it's overall bad. Now, in terms of
further, Roger, that was a bold statement right there. That was very bold.
It's not bold. I think anyone who did not immediately catch up to One Piece during the COVID era, someone who's been reading One Piece for a long time can see the cracks in the armor, right? And can see what was going on with Oda, what was going on with his editors, the weird pacing, everything that was going on in Wano. Wano, again, people, this is like how a lot of modern One Piece fans are. They watch the series with blinders on. They just see what's in front of them at the moment, and they're like, this is so hype, this is peak, oh my god, wow, this is so hype. And then they don't think back to like the pacing of everything else, and then they forget like how good things used to be. I feel like Wano has incredibly high highs, right? You've got like Gear 5, that fight with Kaido. You've got Law and Kid versus Big Mom. You've got the Robin Black Maria fight. You've got the Oden flashback. You've got the stuff with Roger. Act 2 of Wano is one of the worst paced, terrible arcs I've ever seen in all of One Piece. That chunk of Wano, I said this when I was on the show last time, that is the only arc in One Piece ever, the only span of an arc ever in which I dropped reading week to week. It was
Damn.
That entire section in the prison, the Big Mom's amnesia bullshit, the Ice Oni thing with like Chopper and with Queen, the prison break as it actually happened, the weird pacing with Queen, the way that they were like doing strange things with Sanji, setting up the Toby Ropo, the numbers, the gifters, the pleasures, only for half of that shit to go nowhere. Like it is so mismanaged. I mean, even the hype with like Marco. Right? You think about like the hype going into it where it's like Marco and Izo are coming, you're going to get the Whitebeard pirates, only for Izo to die off screen, only for Marco to basically do nothing other than like stave off King for a little bit. There are so many missed opportunities in Wano country.
Yeah, I was referring to like because you said there's not one bad arc in One Piece.
Right.
I was referring to that being a very bold statement because Thriller Bark is ass.
That's
besides,
what I was just about to say.
No. You're wrong. You're wrong.
Huh?
You're objectively wrong. Thriller Bark.
Roger.
Explain yourself.
Go home, Roger. No, sorry.
He's there.
Right. Go home, Roger. All right. Do you like Egghead Island? Yes or no? Do you like Egghead as an arc?
Yes,
Love Egghead.
thoroughly.
Thriller Bark is integral to your enjoyment of Egghead. You cannot have Egghead and the story beats in the way that you have them without Thriller Bark.
Oh,
It
you're playing that
does
game.
not happen. You do not have the nothing happened moment without Thriller Bark. You do not have a lot of that stuff with Kuma. When you recontextualize Thriller Bark, right, with the idea that Kuma was about to go under for the last time, and then setting up all the stuff with Sabaody with him, setting up all the stuff with Perona, then going to Mihawk, the Ryuma Zoro fight, great, really good comedic story beats that happen in Thriller Bark.
That Zoro fight was not great.
You also don't have Whole Cake Island in the way that you have it without Thriller Bark because
Whole Cake's ass too, low key.
There's Whole Cake Island.
To me,
I wouldn't say Whole Cake is
Big Bomb.
ass. I would say
Katakuri, even the moment
I think
with
like the
Sanji and
Category
Luffy.
fight was really dragged out.
My boy Usopp did his dance.
It was an ass, but
I agree with that. Katakuri fight, I think, was dragged out to the point that it was like it didn't need to be dragged out like that because of Flampe. The Flampe introduction, and this is like going into a whole other greater discussion, right? But like Oda's done this a lot post time skip. And you guys caught up, a lot of you guys caught up in the recent few years, right? Where you like watched the entire early series. Do you remember like the peak moments of Alabasta, of Enies Lobby, like how you felt in the moment? Fire, Marineford even, right? Like so many of these early arcs. Whereas I feel like post time skip, he introduces a lot of characters that eventually go nowhere for the purpose of like fleshing out the arc that you're in. But realistically, you don't need that. Like, we didn't need all the fight with the Doflamingo family members and all the stuff in the Coliseum and everything that happened in Dressrosa and the Birdcage and the timer with Gear 4. You didn't need the Katakuri fight fleshed out with the stuff with Flampe, Katakuri stabbing himself to get on the level of Luffy, which I still think is like atrocious, right? You could have had the stuff that happened at the wedding, which is all fantastic with the Vin Smokes and Brook breaking the photo, like Big Mom flashback, all that great stuff. And then, you know, leading to the end with Sanji making the cake. But every single anime episode, every manga chapter in that last third of Whole Cake Island either ended with one of two things. It ended with, oh my God, Big Mom's going to catch the Straw Hats, which, spoiler alert, no, she doesn't. And then, oh my God, Sanji's going to make the cake, and he eventually does. But it's like, you don't need to tell us 8, 9 episodes in a row that Sanji's going to make a cake. Make the damn cake already. Shut up. What's wrong with you? And Wano, again, a lot of the stuff with Act 2 of Wano and the lead up and stuff with Act 1, like oh my God, I didn't even say the most atrocious thing about the end of Wano. Bro, the fact that Kinemon lives at the end.
We were all mad about that.
That's crazy. You're right about that.
You're right.
You got
And his explanation of living, right, being that Law didn't put me together again in Punk Hazard, absolute dog shit trash. It is one of the worst things. And if you remember that emotion, see, I'm getting hyped up. I'm sorry about this.
I love it. I love it.
That emotional beat that happens at the peak of Wano Country, right? Where you've got Luffy on the roof, seeing the scabbards being taken down by Kaido, all of them near death. Him saying, I can't die now, because if I die now and I go to the afterlife, I'll be ashamed of myself because we weren't able to stop Kaido. And Luffy says, I'll take it from here, right? That entire story beat, and then Kaido eventually saying, I'm finishing him off and slicing him in two. That story beat is ruined when literally 12 episodes later, the dude, I'm not even joking, farts himself back to life. You have him running around with a fart joke with Usopp and Nami. And it's like, oh, by the way, Kinemon's fine, huh? Everything's going to be good. And then, now that we've gotten to this point already, I can talk about this. This absolute terrible decision to not let Yamato go with the rest of the crew could have at least been avoided. But if they were like, look, Yamato's staying because of the reason that Yamato says they're going to stay, saying that I'm going to stay to be a mentor to Momonosuke, totally makes sense. If Kinemon died. But Momonosuke has Kinemon. He's alive. He hasn't gone anywhere. So what is the excuse to have Yamato stay in Wano? It's like such a bad decision and so unlike Oda to like put all these things in there and not really go anywhere with them or to bring these other characters back. It's just the reason I dislike it is because I am such a big One Piece fan and because I love this series so much. You know what I mean? Like, I know that Oda could do so much better, and you've seen him do so much better with Egghead. Like, you've literally seen him do better already.
Like, the only thing that I'm going to say real quick is about the Thriller Bark thing. Now, the one thing that you brought up was the Kuma part. You talked a lot about the Kuma part, and that was a big part within that arc. However, that wasn't the majority of the arc. The majority of the arc prior to that was a lot of BS. You gotta be right.
There is a lot of filler. There is a lot of comedy. But I will say Moria in particular, right? Like, don't you think at some point Moria's power is going to come back? Don't you think with what you've seen already, right? With Blackbeard and with Absalom and with Moria and Perona looking for Moria, even talking to Kobe about it. Like, the idea of a character that can bring back people using his shadows and like have this zombie army. We just had 2 characters that died in Wano with Big Mom and Kaido. We don't know where they are. We don't know what's going on with them. If you want to have Kaido and Big Mom reintroduced for that final war arc towards the end of the series again and actually have it make sense, one of the few ways you can do that without some BS of like, they were alive because she made a homie shield in the lava of the volcano. Like, one way you could do it is they actually died and that Moria got their corpses. And, you know, used them with shadows and brought them to Final War. And Blackbeard literally specifically wanted him. And Blackbeard, we know, as a scavenger based on everything that happened in Marineford, even honestly, the stuff that he did with Ace bringing him into Final War. So I feel like, again, there are story beats to come with Moria, and I think a lot of stuff in Thriller Bark will be made more important as we go on. Also, you were talking about tragic flashbacks in One Piece. Brook's quartet to a trio to a duet to a solo, playing Bink Sake, the reuniting with Laboon, the setup of his dream on the crew. Again, you can't say Thriller Bark is a bad arc when you literally got the introduction of a crewmate.
And you got introduction of the greatest swordsman. Also the greatest swordsman on the cruise ship, Brook. Don't forget that.
But does it have to be like a whole?
Now you're saying stuff to say.
I don't like
know.
it.
I truly believe Brook is the greatest swordsman on that ship.
Why are you rage baiting? There's literally no rage. You guys have a million
There's
subscribers
facts
already.
behind
There's
it.
no
Age.
reason.
Name one fact. Name one fact.
You guys
Age.
fell off in terms of views. It's because you're saying
Age.
stuff
That's
like
it.
that. That's exactly why. That's why you're falling off. It's because you're saying stuff like Brook and you're rage baiting. You don't need the rage bait, bro.
It's all. I don't need a rage bait.
You got 1,400,000 subscribers. You don't
It's not. I don't got a rage bait when I'm saying facts, because I don't even got to bring up Zoro, because he barely gets any screen time.
Who?
Zoro, he barely. And
He gets more than Brook though.
Nah, Brook was there.
But he got more than Brook at Egghead.
Yo, Zoro is.
He got more than Brook at
I
Egghead,
love you,
bro.
buddy, but like that's not it. I'll tell you right now.
It's not. It's not.
It's
It's
not
not.
it.
It's not.
Like, you think that Brook could actually be Zoro in a fight?
He knows he can't.
I think, yo, you could get into
Yeah, like we're not gonna do this. Man, before we continue with this great conversation on One Piece, man, let's get into some of these super chats, man. Keep sending in y'all super chats. We're gonna make sure we get to them again at the end of the show. So if you're sending them in, we will make sure we get to all of them. We got Evert Montano donated. I'm not gonna lie to you. Y'all can read that emoji. I don't know what that emoji means, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. The emoji. And then we got ENT donated 5 and said, yo, Jerry and Joel, I want to ask you, in terms of character writing, why do you not respect Danzo from Naruto as much as you do Akainu and Dofi? No power scale.
Thank you.
Yo,
Shout out to that guy.
I respect this character.
Huh?
I respect this
Yeah,
character.
it's only Jerry.
Yeah.
He actually respects his character. That's true.
Listen, I don't like. I explain this a lot with why I don't like Danzo. It's not even Danzo's a punk. He's really a punk. He ran away from Sasuke twice.
But they're saying he's similar.
And he did all of that. Hold on, Dofi ran away from who?
Yo, Jerry.
Dofi ran away from who? Dofi
never.
ran away from who?
I just think that's what they said. They said it was similar. They said, I don't know why, if he did that, why can't.
Listen, nah. What? Dofi is a gangster. Dofi is a gangster.
Dofi is unequivocally hype. Everybody likes Dofi. Dofi's like one of the best bad guys in all of One Piece. Now,
Thank you.
the Danzo Akainu thing is very strange to say because
Yeah.
Danzo at no point ever was even close to the level at which Akainu is currently in One Piece. Like, not even close.
He did all that and he ran away from Sasuke twice. Come on, guys. You're comparing him to Akainu and Dofi. Stop it.
Joel, you got anything for that?
Nah, I like Danzo. I like the writing for Danzo. I don't like what he did, obviously. Like, I'm not going to say that.
You respect him as a man, though.
Wait, what?
No, I respect the writing for his
Respect him
character.
as a man is a
That's
crazy-
not what to say.
I'm just saying that's what I mean.
That wording was
Yeah, respect him as a man is wild.
But that's what I meant. I said that's what I meant, though.
Okay,
what you
okay.
said.
Yeah, like
I just said it wrong. But I'm like, yeah, that's what I meant to say.
Okay.
Like, you respect the writing. They say,
Yeah.
Like Jerry's saying, you don't respect none of it.
I don't like Danzo at all, bro.
And then we got King donated and said, let's not forget, Pat put Robin over Sanji.
You did?
Did I? Yeah, I
don't
do.
know.
I like the thing
Nah,
is
that's
though,
Robin
debatable.
over Sanji,
That's debatable, though.
That's debatable.
Yeah.
I think Robin's strong as hell.
and I yeah,
Stronger
and
than
Sanji, I was about
I
to
say
say
it's
Sanji, though.
debatable
It's
means
debatable.
you could debate it. I didn't say it's a fact.
it is debatable, especially we got introduced with
It
our
is.
new form.
With where you are currently in the story, I think that's debatable.
Thank
Where
you.
you are
It's
right now.
debatable.
What I will say, and something I think that is always important to keep in mind, and again, a big reason why I feel like power scaling is kind of silly in One Piece or whatever. People are like, Oda's so much stronger. I mean, Zoro's so much stronger than Sanji or Sanji. You know, the thing I want you to keep in mind, keep this in mind for the end of the series, right? Sanji and Zoro are the wings of the Pirate King. Sanji and Zoro, throughout the course of the entire series, are shown to be somewhat comparable or are made to seem somewhat comparable, even when we are at points in the story like where you are right now, where Zoro is significantly stronger than Sanji, right? But by the end of the series, I guarantee you, Zoro and Sanji will be extremely close in terms of power. I guarantee you.
Okay.
Come back
I
to
could
this
see
in
that.
5-6 years, whatever. Even if it doesn't make sense, he will find a way to make it make sense. Because again, that is what Oda wants. Oda's agenda is to have them be the wings of the Pirate King that protect him. And right now, obviously, Jinbei's doing things that are looking good. Frankie's doing things that are looking good. Sanji might be falling by the wayside, but again, Sanji will have his due.
You
Guaranteed.
didn't name Usopp. Love to hear that.
All right, listen. We're not going to do this today.
Well,
listen.
Usopp might be dead by the end of the series.
Whoa, wait a minute. I was going to read another super chat.
Did you say the statement you said last week?
Roger.
Real quick.
Yo, I think that Usopp is eventually going to get Conqueror's Haki because he's that important to the
I
story.
do
And
too.
No, that's not.
I agree.
That's
That's
not
what
what I
I
was gonna say.
said.
No,
That's
no.
not-
I was gonna
that's not what I said.
say. I was gonna say top 30 of this whole show.
top 30
Straight
of the whole
flush. That's
show.
what I was gonna say.
But I said Conqueror's Haki, and I said I think he'll be one of the most powerful people. I did say that, but I said Conqueror's Haki, and you said I was on a lot of different drugs that I'm not
My
on. But you
main
said
thing
that.
was about the top 30. You said
You
by
got
the
some
end of the
Ricky
show,
Cocaine's
top 30.
product is what happened. That's what happened. That's
Thank you. Well, I'm just happy that he said Conqueror's Haki because even Joel told me he thought I was crazy for
You
that.
know what? I really don't think he's gonna get Conqueror's. That means, like, well, how many Straw Hats got to get it before you Usopp get it?
Why?
You know, at that point, everybody gonna get it.
no,
Why is that though?
Because I think Robin could get
That's
Conqueror's
literally-
Haki before Usopp.
Huh?
I think Robin could get Conqueror's Haki
Robin's
before
not gonna get
Usopp.
Conquerors. I'll tell you right now. I'll
Okay.
tell you right now the 4 characters that will have Conquerors by the end of the series, right? Guaranteed that are on the Straw Hats. Guaranteed, no doubt about it. Luffy and Zoro already have it. We know that already. That's done. The thing you have to remember about Conquerors is that it is not something you can train. It is something that you are born having that awakens within you at a heightened moment. Similar to like a Mangekyo almost, right? Like
Yeah,
for those
yeah.
of you that are reading Boruto, you now know that like Mangekyos aren't necessarily just from killing somebody, right? So like I will say that I think something will happen and awaken within Sanji in which he finds out that he has Conqueror's Haki. And I also feel like some type of moment will happen with Usopp as well by the end of the series. Now, Usopp having Conquerors does not negate the fact that I still think Usopp can die by the end of the series and could potentially be one of 2 Straw Hats that ends up kicking the bucket before the end.
Nice.
The other one-
Who's the other? Do you feel like?
Robin.
Okay.
Okay.
That'd be very significant.
Damn, yeah.
Honestly,
Because
that was,
Robin, you have to think about the dreams of the characters once again,
Yeah.
right? The way that dreams of the Straw Hats end up happening. Robin's dream is to read the Rio Poneglyph, to put together the Rio Poneglyph. Now, that's going to happen before we go to Left Hill. That's going to happen. She's going to get the Rio Poneglyph because once you have the Rio Poneglyph, it takes you to go to Left Hill.
Yeah.
So that dream will be achieved before almost everybody else on the crew. And Usopp's dream is literally to be a brave soldier of the sea. And he outright states in Little Garden, I will die to make this dream happen. So at some point, especially with the Giants coming into the mix again, right, and potentially entering Final War, I don't think it's going to happen. I will say this. I think there's going to be a moment in Final War in which people believe that Usopp is going to die, but I do not think Usopp is going to die in Final War. But I do think there is a non-zero chance that by the end, Usopp sacrifices himself to stop something from happening by the end of the series. Yeah.
and if y'all want to see me cry, please tune in for that reaction whenever it happens, because it will be real tears from a man. I'll tell you that much. And we got another super chat here that says, "Love y'all and Roger. Keep the vibes as fire as possible. And Garp is top 1."
Shout out to Garb.
Okay, well,
Shout out
that
Uzumaki
person is
Bro.
also on some Ricky Cocaine product, I think, right there.
Oh my god!
Damn.
Wow.
That's a little much. A little much to say Garp is top 1 when literally Garp got frozen by Kuzan. So, and Kuzan is not even top 15. So I think good luck with that, buddy.
Ooh. All right. And then we have K Jiggity donated. Shout out to K Jiggity, man. He said, "Yo, what's up, RTTV? Just showing love with the dono. Just want to say Brook is a good swordsman, but he ain't first mate. He not Zoro. Zoro defeated King, sliced Kaido in the chest. Something Brook could never do."
It's more being a swordsman is more than about just fighting. Sometimes it's about wisdom. Sometimes it's about being there for your teammate. And I think Brook is there the emotional times that they need the team. And if you need directions, I could go to Brook for some directions. I can't go to anyone for some.
No, if we're looking, if we're looking for a GPS, if we needed a TomTom, I would absolutely go to Brook first.
I'm going to Nami.
Bro, I ain't gonna lie to you.
No, but I'm saying between those two. I'm only talking about those two.
like,
Come on, man.
In that time period, it's good to know directions.
But what I'll say is, honestly, when you made that argument, that made me feel how you spoke about going hands and Sakamoto days. Honestly, your definition, man, define it how you want, man. And that's how you want to define a swordsman, man. Let's go,
If you
When
go,
I say
if you go,
hands, I mean knives, feet.
yo, if you go to the comments, everybody understood what I meant. They're like, we get what he was saying. It made sense.
I'll give you, I will
It
actually.
didn't make sense. I'm like, yeah, like John Wick. I could be like John Wick goes hands, and I can say no, he don't.
This is a good opportunity to
I can
bring
say
this
that.
up,
He uses weapons.
Oh, go ahead, Roger.
Do you remember the first time I was on the podcast? The first time, right, when we were in the studio across from the convention center. Do you remember Rob and I had a conversation at the very end of that I said that, and we came to an agreement that I felt like Full Metal Alchemist was overrated? Do you remember this conversation?
Yes.
Since the second podcast that I was on with you guys earlier this year in March, I actually went and watched all of Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, watched through the entire thing. And while I think it is good, I stand by what I said. I still think it's overrated.
Thank you.
I think it's overrated too.
I love you.
I think it's overrated
People
too.
think
I
Full
like
Metal
it.
Alchemist
It's
is
the greatest of all time.
greatest.
Yeah. I don't
They're
think
smoking
that.
dope heroin
Yeah, I
and
don't
crack.
think it's the greatest of all time. That's not
Pat
a
just be
thing.
putting a lot.
I think it's very good. I think it's very
Exactly.
good, and I think there's a lot of nostalgia for it, you know.
Yeah.
But I do not think it's even top 3. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's the greatest of all time, and I never understood why people put it that high. But it is a great anime. Yeah.
It's great. Yeah. But again, slightly overrated. But still great. Yeah.
And we'll get back to some more super chats at the end. We'll get back into some questions
Wait,
right now.
I got a question though. Speaking of overrated, what do you think about Bleach?
I've actually never finished it. That's
Oh, that says a lot.
That doesn't say
That's not to say, but that's
He has
not
a
to
lot
say.
of time,
no,
like, to
but I
work
wanna
on
He's
clarify-
traveling. He's traveling. He got a lot.
Busy man.
That means you can watch it on a plane.
He got a lot of stuff to
I'm not
watch.
watching Bleach on a plane. You don't ever when Rangiku is gonna like have her boobs flying.
Yeah, that is true.
You're not gonna have that happen, man. But what I will say is this, right? I want to at some point actually catch up and finish Bleach. I do.
Okay.
But I just have not had the opportunity to do it. And it really is the last of the big shonen that I need to finish before I can safely say, like, I've watched all of them.
Yeah.
But it's not because I hate it, or I think it's overrated or whatever. I actually think it's pretty, like, normally rated. I feel like people are down on it a lot of the time. And I feel like the people who are super into it are people who grew up with it when it was one of the big 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think it's like necessarily overrated in the same way like an FMA is, where it's constantly like #1 at the top of everybody's
I agree
list.
with
You
that.
never see Bleach at #1,
How did you feel about season 2 of Solo Leveling? We seen you had a little video speaking about it.
Can I plead the 5th?
Wow.
I don't know if that. I think. Wait, is it
Wow.
bad?
In what context?
Wait,
Plead the fifth
damn.
mean probably like
doesn't
it's
wanna say
so
anything.
bad of what he wants to say. Or
You
so
know,
Section
stay
woo.
quiet.
No,
he would prefer not to. So it's the opposite.
It's that. It's not the opposite either. I feel that Solo Leveling, the anime, as someone who is a fan of the manhwa, and I hate to be this person,
Okay.
is not even remotely close to as good. Not even remotely close. I think it is hype, and for people who were not used to the original manhwa and the way the original manhwa looked and the way certain things were paced out, I could understand why someone could just go in and it's a bunch of dumb fun and you've got some aura farming and you've got some good fight moments and that's it. And you can enjoy yourself, right? Like it's enjoyable. But I think as someone who was in the trenches reading it, I do feel like this is one of those few series in which the manhwa and like reading it is just so much better. I feel like a lot of the detail is lost with the animation style in Solo Leveling, where you've got those really, fluid but very choppy fights where you've got, characters slashing and then all of a sudden they just animate where it looks like 8 slashes at once as like an effect that's on the screen. I think like the voice acting is somewhat questionable in certain scenes. I feel like some of it is very good. I think Alex Lee does a great job in the English dub as Sung Jin Woo. I think Jin Woo is great in pretty much any of the dubs as well. I feel like there are certain sequences that are just so unbelievably bad that I don't know how they ended up getting through approvals. One in particular is like, you guys are all caught up, right?
Correct.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. You know the sequence with Tusk? Before he's Tusk, like when he's still the Red Ogre in the Red Gate?
Yeah.
He's like, I am so powerful! Fight me, Jin Woo! I'm like, what are they doing there? I understand that it was like some celebrity or something that they got to voice it, but that was just not it, So, and again, I like Solo Leveling. As a series, I love Solo Leveling. The manhwa, though, like I said, the experience of like reading it for the first time is kind of unmatched compared to the anime. And while I think the anime is good for people unfamiliar with it, and I'm not going to dog on people who enjoy it, I feel like it is just simply not for me. And I never even finished the second season because I felt no need to or desire to.
So how often does that happen for you? As somebody who is kind of
Never.
Okay. So that was the first
There's
time.
never a
You must have got a lot of hate for that, didn't you?
I did. I sure
Yeah.
did. And guess
Yeah,
what
like,
happened?
a lot of
I
people
went,
just
cool,
don't-
Thanks a lot. I'll go do Nintendo videos and don't expect Solo Leveling from me again.
But yeah, like
And then
a
it was
lot
fine.
of people liking something, having an opinion on something, and you just having a complete different. Like like I kind of get how you feel. Something that's
Okay,
really
let's not-
popular
let's-
that
no, no,
everyone
no.
likes
Look,
that you don't like.
Let me clarify for the audience. At home.
Please.
Me saying that I feel like the anime of Solo Leveling is not as good as the manhwa is nowhere near as crazy of a rage bait take as saying that Brook is stronger than Zoro. Let's
Very close.
Not even close.
let's get real. We are not on the same level. You and I. We're
No,
not the same.
you are right, but I said Brook is the best swordsman on the ship. Then when
That
Evan
is
asked that
still-
question, I never answered it.
Cap
I said it's more than
makes
fighting.
sense.
Remember when he said, is it better? I said, yo, it's more than just fighting. I never said he was better fighting. I said he's the greatest swordsman on the ship. And I
you
said
also-
emotional
But like,
connection.
what percentage of a swordsman has to be me fighting with a sword?
But when he was younger, no, I'm saying, no, but I'm saying when he was, you know how Whitebeard when he was younger, he was stronger. You know how Master
So you think
Roshi-
Zoro is weaker now than he was before?
I'm
Okay, I was
saying
about to
Brook
say.
is old, Evan. So I'm saying when Brook was younger, he was stronger.
But what would give you that impression?
Anime.
What did the anime
Examples I-
display?
examples I just
lie.
gave you
Wait,
from all
hold on.
the anime.
Can we address this? That is literally a lie. You have never seen once in the anime ever young Brook sword fighting anywhere near the.
No, I didn't say I seen it. I said I'm predicting that from seeing other animes. I just said that. I said-
He created Brook's past in his mind.
I just gave you examples from. You said what I think that.
No, I get you. I get what you're saying. I'm just saying you created
I
that.
said guard. I said Whitebeard,
Whitebeard.
and I said Master Roshi. I meant like animes, like the anime world. Like I seen it, so I'm
Falling
assuming.
for the bait. Why are we doing this? We keep
Okay,
falling
yep.
for the bait.
Yo, to continue the topic of One Piece, right? We see now that One Piece is getting a lot of attention mainstream, especially with the collaborations with Lakers, when it came to Dortmund, when it came to the Dodger Night, even when it comes to like collaboration with clothing with Gucci, Lacoste, Vans, Hypeland. Like, how do you feel about like One Piece infiltrating mainstream when it comes to all these collaborations? And do you have like your favorite? Like, especially they had Andy opened up the One Piece Cafe in Los Angeles. A lot of great things are happening. So like, what has stood out to you, and how do you feel about One Piece like breaking like the mold when it comes to going to all these different facets of like IPs?
I feel like in general it's just awesome, right? The fact that like we're going to a Lakers game and you're getting, custom little Luffy animation. I was there. Were any of you guys at the game?
No, we weren't
Yeah,
there. We seen you there, so we felt like we were
Oh,
there.
I was there. Right. Okay, well, there you go. That's so nice. Thank
We
you
liked the
very much.
post and everything. That's why.
Thank you. No, the game was awesome, and like I still have my One Piece Lakers shirt over in the closet over there. Right, I didn't get the chance to go to the Dodgers game because it was the weekend of Anime Expo, and I was busy doing a bunch of stuff. But I feel like the mainstream love that One Piece is getting with like the live action and the cafes and the figures and the cards, like that's awesome. There's no world as a One Piece fan in which I don't like that. I think the only aspect of it sort of blowing up that I haven't enjoyed has again been like the newer fans catching up during COVID who like only read the manga, right? And are reading spoilers constantly like the Tuesday before the chapter even comes out, and then are like basing their opinions off of spoilers that have nothing to do with the actual chapter. Like in that sense, I feel like because the community has gotten bigger, in a sense, I feel like it's gotten dumber, like genuinely dumber, because you have people who aren't necessarily like attuned to reading a long lore-based manga, who are used to looking to something that's like a battle shonen, right? Something that's like hype and power scaling and all this stuff. And so I feel like, again, the mainstream manga audience of One Piece, I feel has gotten stupider since the blow up. But I feel like the blow up has been nothing but good for those of us who have been One Piece fans for a long time. And for those of us like you guys who are like experiencing it week to week. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I think it's great. I love it. I want more of it.
Yeah, because we've seen it seems like it's not going nowhere, and it seems like more and more people are becoming bigger fans of One Piece. If you haven't seen, Tom Brady just went viral for wearing a One Piece shirt. Not sure if he just wore it for the fandom or if he's into it, but it made waves. And who's a famous person that you know that is a One Piece fan that you wouldn't expect that you know, if you know one?
Famous person that, the guy who's playing Crocodile in One Piece live action, Joe Manganiello. Literally, the reason he even got on the show was because he was such a big fan of One Piece. So, that's like straight up, like he's a huge fan of it. His assistant was a huge fan of it as well. Like he loves the series, and so I'd say he's a really good choice. I think removing it from like One Piece people, because obviously that makes a lot of sense. I would say someone that I was surprised to find was a One Piece fan. This is tough to like narrow it down. Oh, Jamie Lee Curtis. Massive One Piece fan. I think that's a big surprise.
Great.
Yeah, Jamie Lee Curtis loves One Piece.
Shout out Jamie
And
Lee
her kids
Curtis.
love One Piece.
She was supposed to. We wanted her to play Dr. Kureha, I think her name.
Well,
was.
Dr. Chopper's.
Yeah, Chopper.
Yeah, that would have been awesome. Huh?
She would have been a good choice. She would.
Yeah.
I do feel though that I think Katie Seagal, who's playing it now, I think she's going to be good too. So
Is she related to Steven Seagal?
We're not
I
sure.
don't think so. She's like the mom from,
I couldn't tell if that was a real question
she's
or
the
not.
mom from Married with Children, and like Leland.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
But talking about One Piece live action, there's a lot coming forward from the One Piece live action. We know you got to get a lot of behind the scenes footage. From that time, you were able to put that footage out, or from that time?
Oh yeah. The footage from season 1 is all out. Unfortunately, the filming for season 2 did not coincide with the stuff that I was doing early last year, so I wasn't able to go visit during season 2. I got a good look at some stuff from season 2 thanks to some buddies that work on the show, but nothing that I can post anywhere. So, but I'm excited for it. I think it's going to be good. Yeah.
So one of the biggest reveals, one of the things that had everyone going crazy, and we want to know your opinion on it, is the live action Chopper. How did you feel about that?
Yeah.
debut?
I love the way he looks. I feel like I also don't mind the voice, because I saw a lot of people saying it sounds like a girl doing the voice of Chopper as opposed to a young boy doing the voice of Chopper. But I feel like that's kind of how it always is when you get Chopper in the anime. That's the girl who does it for what's it called, for Funimation, same kind of thing, right? The one that does it, Pikachu Otani, who just had a birthday in Japan, who does it for Chopper, same exact thing. So I'm not that bothered by the voice, and I also feel like the woman playing Chopper is probably going to come into her own with the character. I think the look is perfect. I think if you're going to do a live action Chopper, making him look as cute as he does is exactly what was needed. He doesn't look too freaky. I think he doesn't have the live action Sonic syndrome where he had the weird teeth and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I feel like I'm excited for it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward because you already know I'm the biggest fan of live action Zoro. I think he's better than the animated Zoro.
That's awesome.
And I can't wait to see.
Very good.
He's one of my favorite actors too, because he's been in a lot. So I can't wait to see what's coming forward with that. But we seen the trailer, and the trailer was pretty fire. Did you get a chance to see it?
Of course, yeah. And it was good, too, because that happened right after I got back. I believe it was right after I got back from New York, the day after the trailer dropped, because they had that Netflix event or something. Well, it was One Piece Day, wasn't it?
Yeah, One Piece Day.
Yeah.
And, so I watched the trailer, watched the new opening, watched the new ending, and, yeah, it looks awesome. I mean, everything that I loved about Season 1 and the things that they were translating into live action looks great here. And I have total faith in the people working on it. Randy Troy, this is public knowledge. Randy Troy, fellow One Piece YouTuber, is one of the writers for the show. It's going to be great. I have no doubt it's going to be good.
Dory and Broggy had a big weekend from the trailer to 1140.
From the trailer into 1140, yeah, they sure did.
How did you feel about how they brought that to life? Dory and Broggy, and as well as Laboon. How did you feel like that looked in the trailer?
Yeah. Laboon, Dory and Broggy made sense. I think we kind of knew they were going to look like that, but Laboon actually looked scarier than I was anticipating, which is a good thing, right? When you have the idea of there's this giant whale that's going to eat your ship, that's sitting there at the bottom of a reverse mountain blocking people from making their way over. You do want that thing to be somewhat threatening, right? Those of us that are longtime fans of One Piece, or you guys as well, Laboon, we always know is cute. Right?
Yeah, I always thought he's adorable.
In the series, you always think he's cute. But realistically, if there was a giant whale with scars all over his head and stuff, he's got to be scary looking.
Yeah.
And I think they did a good job with that.
And I feel like we got a lot in the trailer. Was there anything you were expecting to see that you didn't see? I know we got a little bit of Vivi, we got Laboon, we got Dory and Broggy. Was there anything that you're still looking forward to see that they have to bring into this season?
I think the only thing that I was surprised not seeing, considering they already showed what Chopper looked like, is not seeing anything of Drum Island, right? We already know the casting for Wapol. We already know the casting for Kureha. We already know the casting for Hiluluk. We know all of them. So I was really shocked we didn't get any Drum Island in that at all. I understand kind of why, because that's the second half of the series.
Yep.
And would also spoil for people that Vivi is actually not bad, right? Because Vivi's with them there. So I get the reason that they didn't show it, but I'd say that is the one thing I'm surprised they held off on. I'm not surprised they didn't show Dragon. I'm not surprised they didn't show Crocodile. Those characters are much more background characters for what's going to be happening in season 2. So I would say maybe Miss Wednesday. Well, no, we saw Miss Wednesday. Not Miss Wednesday.
Seen her.
Who's the girl with the umbrella? The Twiggy girl. What's her name?
Oh, I know exactly who you're talking about, but I forgot her name.
I thought
Is it all something? Is it all? No.
Nah, Miss All Sunday is thing.
No. Miss All Sunday is Robin, and we saw her.
Yeah.
Why am I the girl with the weight power? Oh, what's her name?
Yeah, I don't remember. Long time ago.
Yeah, I'm the Baroque Works is that's
Miss Valentine. Miss Valentine.
Valentine.
Valentine. Yeah.
We're gonna get into some more super chats real quick.
All right, let's get into some more super chats. Shout out to everybody that been sending them super chats. We've been seeing y'all sending them in right now. Let me pull a couple up right now.
And we're gonna read a super chat that is our next guest that will be coming through. Next episode will be September 10th.
Correct.
Joel, you want to introduce who it is?
Yeah, man, it's the top podcast, the One Piece podcast, man. They're going to be coming on the RTTV live
fun.
podcast.
Yeah,
man.
That'll be fun. You guys having a crossover will be good. That'll be really good.
Hell yeah.
And they also sent a super chat. They're live with us right now, so shout out to them. What did the super chat say?
Yeah, they sent a super chat and said, Brook is the best swordman on whose ship? Also, what up, Roger? Much love to RTTV.
I like them already.
What's up, you guys? Hello.
Come through with the energy.
And then we got Riding on E said, this is a 2-part question, and just say, next act, the answer is there, but wait, my fault.
Good
Maybe
job, Evan.
Do you think someone else will be revealed to have God fruit, and do you think Blackbeard gets a third fruit?
Yes and yes.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
I can't give any more details without getting rage baited into spoilers. So no.
Okay. And then we have ENT sent to super chat and said, yo, Jerry and Rogers base, I specifically said no power scaling. I'm saying, I think they meant Joel, but said no power scaling. I'm saying, why does Jerry not respect Donzo's villain character writing as much as Dofi?
No, like I said it. I've said this so many times, right? It's like I'm a broken record at this point. The thing about Donzo, my issue with Donzo running away is that, you become the Hokage, right? In this 5 Ninja Summit, at the point where somebody from your village comes and attacks you, you should be the one to handle business, and he ran away from him after all of the nonsense that he did. That's why I do not like Donzo.
But why are you
And I'ma keep it
bypassing
on
his
that.
whole everything he done as a villain, and then you just basically just because of that one moment eradicates every single thing.
The things that he
took
did as a
Shishui's
villain,
eye.
because a lot of the things that he did as a villain was him getting his, what's the word that I want to use? His cronies to do it versus him doing it himself.
He did it.
And that's one thing, but
That's impressive.
The Uchiha clan was him getting a whole crony to do that. I don't respect him for that. I don't rock with Donzo.
I mean, a lot of villains have henchmen do their work. I mean, that's why they're boss villains.
He is a
Bosses don't do the dirty work.
He's supposed to be the leader, not just the boss. Here's the thing: Dofi is a leader. Dofi gets his hands dirty more than Donzo, and that's a fact.
I mean, that's
a fact.
Oh,
That's
that's
why we're talking about in comparison to the writing. That's why I don't like him.
Okay, we got H989 said, RTTV, this is off topic, but you guys should react to Akame got killed.
Good series. Yeah, we never did, but it is a really good series.
I do really want to watch that show.
You should. It's good.
We got
Kame got killed?
Yeah.
We got Alvix donated and said, are you guys going to watch Yu-Gi-Oh! Pyramid of Light and Dark Side of the Dimensions? I'll tell you, Joel don't want to watch it because he's been watching me beat him in Yu-Gi-Oh!
I've been just be capping, yo. Oh my God. In the last month, how many weeks you won?
Listen, they didn't ask that question. They didn't pay for
Give
that
him my money.
answer.
How many weeks you won?
Huh?
Oh, okay.
That's one of those, like, I'm waiting to tell them on when we do it on screen, bro. You wildin'. You trying to spoil right now.
Y'all gonna keep waiting.
You trying to spoil right now.
Roger, do you play Yu-Gi-Oh or do you play Pokemon or you collect?
Pokemon TCG I play all the time. I mean, I literally have all my decks over there. I was just at Worlds. I got like 8 different TCG decks. And in fact, I'll go get one right now. Let me show you my Pokemon.
Yeah, show
Yeah.
Oh, shoot.
You also show that
excited.
Luffy, a Gear 5 statue too if you want to show that.
Yeah, Roger, show us the display Pokemon decks, because I know you don't play, because he's been ducking the smoke since last podcast. I know they just for
He's ducking
display.
the smoke. Oh, I'm sorry that I've been traveling internationally. My
Danny Flex.
Sorry, my life is interesting.
That's a
All right,
stunt. That's a
let me
stunt.
Let me show you. That is, yeah, for sure. It's meant to be. See, this is the Charizard deck that I always use in the TCG. This is the Terra Charizard deck, which is super fire. Then we also use the Corviknight deck over here, which is like the Steel one, Corviknight VMAX. This is no longer like something you could actually compete with.
Yeah.
Both decks are really good. These are like my 2 main ones. And
Is
I've
it
got
banned?
tons of like fun little situational decks. The Corviknight one is, but
Okay.
Charizard was actually played at Worlds this past weekend. So
Okay, he
Damn,
put the
he got-
decks to use, bro.
He's
Stop
gonna
playing
make me
with
pick
that.
up Pokemon. Yo, Robbie was trying to get us to buy Pokemon cards at VerseCon this weekend. I should have got some, yo. I should have
I'll
got
play.
some.
Look, I'm totally down to play. Again, you guys are local to me. I'm in Glendale, so like at
Yeah.
some point, if I do have availability, I would.
Whenever
love to
you
play
got
with
time.
you guys. guys. It's just a matter of like finding the time is rough, especially this year with like Switch 2 and then all the stuff with the new One Piece seasons and all the different like traveling, and it's been a lot. But at one point, I promise I'm not ducking. I would love to play. In fact, I would even love to live stream us playing so you can get your ass live on YouTube.
I love it. I would love to do that.
And we would definitely appreciate you spending the time with us. We got more to talk about with you. And before we do that, guys, everyone that's here right now, we are also on Spotify, guys. So make sure this podcast episode will be on Spotify. All our podcast episodes are also available on Spotify. You can also catch us on YouTube. You can catch us on Instagram. Make sure you follow us on Instagram at Robcityrt. At RTTV Reacts. And also follow us on TikTok. Again, thank you guys for helping us get to over 100K on Instagram and over 200K on TikTok. We appreciate all you guys in the chat. Road to 1 million. And make sure you check out our Patreon. We got so much dope content we are covering. We got some dope animes we are covering right now.
Yeah, we're covering a lot of new season anime right now. Gachakuta, Sakamoto Days, Don to Don, man. You watch any of those, Roger?
I love Don to Don. I love Don to Don. Reacted to the whole first season. Loved it. Have not had the opportunity to watch the second season. Gachikuta is one that so many people keep asking me to watch, and I'm sure it is good, but I just, again, have not had the opportunity. And then what was the third one? Sakamoto. Oh, I watched the first episode of Sakamoto Days on a stream, and I was like, this is good, but doesn't really live up to the manga all that much, so I'm probably going to like binge it once I have time and I just want to like watch something and have it on in the background, and I'll probably watch the dub.
Yeah, second season is peak.
Days manga, so.
Second season is fire.
Yeah, that second season crazy.
Nice.
And guys, also make sure you check us out. We got our movie channel where we're covering a lot. We just dropped the movie review. We are dropping our movie.
You have a movie channel since when?
Yeah, Roger, we out here.
We actually just
I'll
hit
go follow
80K
this
today.
right now. I'm gonna go follow. Let's go.
RTTV Reacts.
Movie channel.
RTTV
Okay,
Reacts.
I'll follow it right now. Let's
Shout out, we just hit over 80,000 today. So shout out to all you guys for following that. Road to 100,000.
Yep.
And we did check out the Neza movie. We did we did the Neza review. We did the Superman review. So guys, we got more reviews coming for you guys. But Roger, there's been a lot going on in the movie world, so we got a lot to talk about.
Yeah, so we just actually went to go watch a screening for Neza 2, and that did over $1 billion. So one of the questions that we've been thinking, I mean, we got Demon Slayer movie coming to theaters. How soon do you think, if soon at all, do you think anime will hit the big screen and do $1 billion and start reaching like peaks like that on the big screen?
It won't be the anime to do it.
And what would be the anime to do it?
Okay, worldwide. $1 billion or domestically $1 billion?
Worldwide.
Worldwide.
Yeah, worldwide.
I'm going to be real. I don't think it's going to be any anime that's currently existing right now. I think it's going to have to be like a one-off thing similar to like a K-pop Demon Hunters type deal, or like with Neja 2, right? That is an animated film. It is not an anime, right?
Yeah,
but I think the audience that it would appeal to here is very, very similar, right? It's not an anime though. I wouldn't count it as that, right? It's a Chinese animation.
Yeah, for sure.
I really don't think we're at a point in which like there is an anime series or an existing property that's going to do $1 billion at the box office. The only way I could ever see that happening, and there's no way that they would ever do it, is literally if One Piece, they said, we are ending the manga at the end of Final War, and Luffy's journey to Laugh Tale is going to be a movie, and that's
that would
like if that happens,
like you say that,
then they would.
Like that would.
But people would be so upset. I believe Demon Slayer also got close to $1 billion internationally. I don't think domestically it did in Japan, but I could have sworn Demon Slayer hit $1 billion. I'll even look it up, but I'm pretty sure Demon Slayer already did.
You talking about the Mugen Train?
The new one. The new one you're talking about, right?
Internationally, I think Mugen Train did. Let me see. Mugen Train. Let me look this up. Mugen Train box office. Okay, no, it made $507 million at the box office, which is still very far away.
We're getting there.
Close.
We're getting there, though.
Somebody in the chat said it hit $1 billion, but yeah.
I thought it was. To be fair to the person in chat, I also thought Demon Slayer either did.
What is it? The new one? I think it's the new one then that hit that, because I think I
feel like that one. That one could be. I feel like one of the Demon Slayer final movies could be one of the ones. I just think.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I think that releasing it first in Japan because it's getting leaked. I think that's just a drawback. Maybe you just release it
I'm looking
worldwide
on
at
here
the
right
same
now.
time.
Okay, no. Let's clarify this right now. Someone read yen incorrectly. It did have 1 billion yen. That's 1 billion yen. It's not
Okay.
$1 billion.
Completely,
All right.
yeah.
It says, Infinity Castle internationally has collected close to 193 million
Well, that's
at
pretty
international box office.
Okay.
So
For in America.
193.
Yeah.
That's pretty good, but that's literally
solid.
a fifth of what? That's a fifth of Mugen Train during COVID, which was like one of the #1 best-selling movies of the year. Did
But I
very
think
good.
they're gonna add in on when it hits America too, to that number.
Again,
be
yeah,
aiming
they will
internationally.
once it hits internationally, but I don't think it's going to hit 1 billion. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't think it would too. And the movie world, are you into movies?
Of course. Yeah, of course.
All right, so how do you
AMC
feel-
A-list. I go to that AMC Americana AMC like twice a week.
All right, so it's time to get into some movie talk. So how do you feel about the new Superman 2025?
I think it's good. I also think it's very overrated, but I think it's good.
Oh wow.
You're killing me, Roger. You're killing me.
Oh no, wait.
man.
So what do you
Sorry.
think? What do you think is overrated about the Superman film?
I think Superman first off, I will say this. I will be just completely transparent. I have never fully enjoyed anything James Gunn has done outside of the original Guardians of the Galaxy.
Wow.
The very first Guardians of the Galaxy I really love. The humor of James Gunn, I am not a big fan of, so I didn't really like Volume 2. I didn't like Volume 3. I thought like the sad emotional moments really hit. And I feel very much the same way about the new Superman, right? Like the moment with his father, I think was really good. I think the best scene in the entire new Superman movie is the one sequence with Clark and Lois, right? Where they're
What I
doing-
said.
Yeah.
That
Yes.
scene is fantastic.
Yes.
I think the Mr. Terrific action scene is so well done.
Mm-hmm.
It has no place in a Superman movie. You're like, why are we doing this in the middle of this right now? I think that entire sequence in the middle of Superman, where they're in the Minecraft universe with like the guy who morphs his power into Krypton,
Yeah.
is all like actually nonsense. It's actually like has no place being there. Is just straight up not good. Is very poorly paced. And I think the conclusion of the movie, where you've got, Superman choosing, instead of, he sends the Justice League to go take care of like the little kid that's literally waving the Superman flag, and instead fights like the clone version of himself in like a messed up evacuated version of Metropolis. The whole thing was just like, I also feel like Man of Steel was too gritty. You know what I mean? But I feel like James Gunn just swung in the opposite direction and was like, we're going to make this as goofy as possible. And like,
That was Gear 5 Luffy right there.
Oh
right.
man.
And so I feel like they're honestly two sides of the same coin. I think they are both decent Superman movies that have a lot of issues and that are bogged down by their director's choices as opposed to telling good stories. I think for being a Superman movie, the fact that we didn't get as much Clark Kent as I was expecting, right? Like, I still think at the end of the day, the original 1978 Superman is still iconic. Like, Reeve is still that original Superman. They made a lot of stinkers, right? Don't ever go watch Superman 3 or 4 or any of those nonsense movies. But yeah, unfortunately, I did not love it as much as I was hoping to love it. I also just think Crypto being entirely CG and them not even using like a dog at all and introducing like the Justice Gang stuff, it bogged down what could have been just a really good down-to-earth Superman movie. Because this version of Superman, this version of Lois Lane, and this version of Lex are all fantastic. I loved all three of them. I thought they were all well cast. I think they acted their parts well. But again, they're bogged down by all this other stuff that has no reason to be in this film.
I feel like there was a lot of hot takes in what you said. Like, for example,
What are the hot takes? I'm curious.
like for the example, the scene with the dad, like
I
when
like
he was
that. You didn't
when he
like
was talking to his father, I think that even though because Robbie actually said this too, I think that's one of the worst scenes inside of the actual film, right? And like even watching it,
Interesting. You don't like-
even,
okay.
even watching because I watched this film 3 times, so like even watching it, like.
Why?
I just
Yo,
feel like
Roger, chill.
I just feel
No,
like
I'm being genuine. And it came out weird.
Nah, he reacted
It's
to
not-
it
I
and
just
he watched it on his
genuinely
own.
see it 3 times.
Wait, why did I watch it? No, well, because like I watched it on my own and then I reacted to it twice. So, which check out both those reactions on RTTV Reacts.
Facts.
But like I just feel like the dad scene was just kind of like I don't know. I don't feel like it was authentic to me from the dad, at least. You know, like I always liked Clark. I always liked Superman, but the dad was just kind of like, eh.
I feel like
there was
that
no
is
connection.
Actually, the hot
Yeah.
take. Yeah, I actually somewhat agree with you that I did not like the way that the Kents were handled. I think the idea to make I understand why, because we've never seen like the country bumpkin version of the Kents.
That's
We've
why I
always
was
just
like,
kind of
I'm
been,
like,
lower middle class. So like I get it. Like I get why they did it. Like that aspect of it is different and cool. But again, that's like the James Gunnifying of stuff. Whereas I feel like the acting of the father in that one scene at the very least, it seemed genuine. Whereas in the other scenes, it just kind of felt like they were playing caricatures of like, well, Jay here, I can't wait to see you in the newspaper again. All right, buddy.
Don't be a stranger.
Don't be a stranger. Paul said, don't be a stranger.
Now, Paul said, don't be a stranger.
We went to get burritos.
And again, I think the other thing about it too, like going back to some of the stuff where it just felt bogged down by other stuff. I feel like Mr. Terrific was awesome. Like that sequence was really good. They make him out to be awesome. I'm like, I would love to see a Mr. Terrific show or like a spin-off movie. But again, he is doing way cooler things than Superman is doing in his own movie, where he's getting his ass beat multiple times. Now, again, I understand like why they are doing this, because we have never seen really that version of Superman, but I still feel like the corniness was just slightly too corny. There's a way to do Superman and make him corny, which he is, and that is good. That is true to the character. But I think even that line of like, well, maybe kindness is the real punk rock. I'm like, get the hell out of my face. That is like one of the most, that is just such like a pandering, lame line to have him say in that moment. And there was no reason for it. And again, I like him as Superman. I think he's a good Superman, but I feel like it's a script issue and not an issue with the actors themselves.
Just one more thing in terms of hot takes, like the whole thing where you're talking about Superman going to Metropolis versus going to the kids. Like I gotta disagree with you on that one, just because like they wanted to put an emphasis on Superman going up against the main villain of the actual film, right? And then
to be fair is him himself, right? It's Ultraman. So like I also understand that, but I feel like again the Ultraman stuff is also not really fleshed out, because you get that reveal in the last third. Oh my God, it's actually Superman. And then meanwhile, in the first half of the movie, you have literally Lex Luthor sitting at his stream setup going, oh, click this button to punch him in the face. And it's like the reaction time of it. You could make the argument that like Lex Luthor has studied Superman so much that he predicts how to react in each sequence, as opposed to like the reaction time being given to the guy to then input to then do to the Ultraman. But again, it was the way that it was handled. It's not that it was bad. Again, I enjoyed Superman. I thought it was fine. Like I enjoyed it, but I could not say that like I loved it. I will say I think I liked it more than Man of Steel. But again, that's like neither of them I think are particularly amazing movies. I think they're both good superhero movies that do some things well, but really like this is probably a hot take. I also did not like the new Fantastic Four movie all that much. I thought the new Fantastic Four.
I'm with you on that.
We agree.
Totally fine,
I don't think that's a hot take. There's a lot of people that don't like that film.
Right with you on that, brother.
I liked it for.
Without giving any spoilers, because some people haven't seen it yet.
I haven't seen it yet.
How did you feel about Johnny Storm portrayal?
So lame, dude.
Thank you.
Like what? Come on, dude. Like with Johnny in particular, I feel like Johnny is always meant to be like a ladies' man, right? He's meant to be like this cool, and it's like the only lady he's after in the whole movie is the Silver Surfer. And the whole rest of the movie, we're meant to believe that he's like some debonair ladies' man. It's like you never see him with anybody else. You know who we see with somebody else? The Thing. You literally see the Thing hanging out like at the synagogue or whatever. It's like what's going on here? I will say, I think the best part of the new Fantastic Four movie is Sue. I think they did a great job. Vanessa Kirby is a really good Sue. I want to see more of her. I think the way they handled Galactus was super lame. I actually liked the Silver Surfer. I thought the stuff they did with Silver Surfer was really cool. But even then, it's like it's kind of came and went, and we're probably not going to see a lot more of that. I don't know. I was very disappointed by the new Fantastic Four. I'd say the thing that I liked most about it had nothing to do with the movie itself in terms of like the acting or the story. It was all the production design. I think the production design was off the charts.
I agree.
Honestly, should get like nominated for an Academy Award. Production design was great.
The timepiece,
the music was also really good.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, the setting, that is the best part of the movie. So you're right. The setting of it, the location.
But it's unfortunate because we're probably not going back there. Knowing, Doomsday's coming and Secret Wars is coming, I don't imagine we're going to spend that much more time in the world of the MCU in that version of Fantastic
especially the way it did in
which is a
box
bit of a shame.
office.
I think the only take that I don't agree with is a Galactus take, but I mean,
Wait,
I love
what's your
Galactus.
opinion with
Yeah, I love Galactus
I'd
in
like
that
to hear
film.
that.
Like,
Really?
Yeah, I truly did. I
Because
truly
like
did.
you have to understand, in the second Fantastic Four movie that came out all those years ago in the 2000s.
Oh yeah, he was a cloud. Yeah, but we don't. Wait.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, but we don't compare. We don't compare Galactus to like that. That would be like comparing the recent Dragon Ball movies to Dragon Ball Evolution. Like they are two separate things. You know what I mean? Like that is not just because one movie did something badly does not mean that another movie, just because it did it better than the other movie, is necessarily like a good interpretation. Like I feel like with what they did with Galactus in this movie, so much of when he's threatening is like when he's in his little space ball thing, right? When he's connected to all the wires. But when he actually shows up, he ends up literally getting tripped and falling into like a warp hole, and he's not being super smart, and he's going after Franklin, and at least he understands that like Franklin is not in the little setup that they made for him. But again, he's like in and out, and that guy, the guy who played Galactus, is such a good actor with such a booming voice. And I feel like they just wasted him in that movie. Like there's so much more they could have done. I don't know. I also didn't hate that movie either. I thought it was fine. I think every superhero movie that came out this year was fine. I think Thunderbolts was fine. I think Superman was fine. I think Fantastic Four was fine. If I was going to rank them, I would probably go Fantastic Four, then Superman, then Thunderbolts. But it is by such a small margin that it's like, bro, just bring on Doomsday, get it over with, and reset the universe. I'm kind of done with all these
I
guys.
can't fully discuss like my rebuttal to the film and Galactus and to why I like him without actually spoiling it. So
what's some movies that you did like?
Yeah, I'm about to say, what's movie of the year for you? That's what I was gonna ask.
Or is there any movie you like this year?
Bro, I'm gonna be honest. This is gonna maybe be a hot take, dude. I love K-pop Demon Hunters.
Oh yeah,
I was genuinely surprised by that. I thought the music was excellent. I thought the way they even handled the story in that one, I thought it was paced very well. You're in and out in like 90 minutes. You're not spending too much time with any of the characters. The soundtrack is really good. Dude, like that whole ending, that Your Idol song with the Saja boys is like, bro, it's so good. The animation style I thought was really well done. I thought the music was great. Sinners, I thought was another good one that came out earlier this year. I thought Sinners was good. I didn't love. Well, hold on. Spoilers. Have you guys all seen it?
All seen it. Yeah.
Multiple times.
Okay.
Multiple times.
Okay. Good. I did not love what it, I'm going to also say this with the assumption that the chat has also seen Sinners. I did not love what it became in the second half of the movie. I think the first half of that movie, where you're seeing like how they were acting and the setup to the stuff with the juke joint and like all the stuff before it got into the supernatural, vampire, campy, over the top like gore, I thought was excellent. Like the character interactions, I thought were all really good, and I think it ends up bringing it home by the ending. Yeah. But I wish it was somewhat more grounded in the second half of the movie than the first half. But I still enjoyed that. I think other movies that came out this year. Again,
did you watch F1?
This year has been like, yes, I loved F1.
F1 was
yeah, dude, F1.
Wow.
There we go. That's a good.
Every day I think that might be my favorite movie of the year.
I gotta go see that. Damn,
F1 was phenomenal. F1 was phenomenal.
Did you see it in IMAX?
Really good. I did.
It was one of the better IMAX experiences this year.
Real good.
And shout out to IMAX again for being partners with us and letting us see a lot of these movies in advance. If you guys haven't, make sure you see all your movies only in IMAX.
That's right. Roger, I love you for that take right there.
F1, Sinners, K-pop Demon Hunters, those were all great. Yeah.
Yep.
So I can like, also again, I liked Thunderbolts. I liked Superman and I liked Fantastic Four. But again, on the scale of what to expect from these superhero movies, I think we're just kind of hitting a point of diminishing returns. And I just kind of wish, I feel like the only thing I will say, I think Superman did a really good job of setting up, to the detriment of the movie itself, did a good job of setting up the future of the DCU. I am genuinely interested to see where things are going to go. I want to see more of this Superman. I want to see more of this Lois Lane. I want to see more of the Justice League characters.
You looking forward to Supergirl?
I feel like, yeah, I think it'll be fine. Like I'm going in with an open mind, you know. I feel like it'll be as good as Superman. But again, if you have like an all CG crypto, I don't know how excited I can be about that. I feel like that aspect of it, like when you're hindering that much on the dog for the purpose of the movie, and then you don't even have like a real dog as a stand-in, you just have like the CG dude running around. I was like, come on, it was not it for me. Yeah.
You think?
We should grab a couple more of these Snapchats, these super chats right
Snapchats?
now, man.
Hey,
Yeah,
yo, what do you mean? Grab more of these Snapchats. Come on.
Hey, yo, what's going on?
I'm not on Snapchat, guys. All right. But let's get into these super chats, man. We got Full Metal Alchemist Brother Clay's your favorite anime. Shout out to that user because they've been here this podcast and the last, so appreciate you. He said solo leveling is garbage outside of animation.
Oh,
wow.
I hate
Oh,
series.
that's a super.
People
hot
say the same thing about Demon Slayer.
And then Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood
People do
also.
say the same thing about Demon Slayer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is. I always hear that about Demon Slayer in general. But he also sent another super chat and said, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood has been the highest rated anime ever for over a decade. It's GOAT territory at this point.
I thought you were just saying his name
People
again.
No. And then Truth
Thought it was
Crusader.
his name was-
Yeah, I'm just going to keep reading his name over for the rest.
I really didn't think that.
Truth Crusader sent another super and said, long time no see RTTV gang. Speaking on overrated anime, would any of you consider One Piece to be so, at least anime-wise? Into Wells, Bleach is underrated. One Piece is definitely not overrated.
Nah, number one.
No, I think One Piece is pretty. Yeah, it's pretty.
One Piece isn't
I mean, it's certainly
overrated.
the number one in terms of like the long-running shonen that are actively still making shows. It's like for sure number one. I mean, it's not even an
Facts.
argument there. It's like definitely the best one. And I think the anime now, like the weekly anime, has been better in the last 6 months, ever since that break, than it ever has been ever in the history of the show. It is so consistently good. The music is great. The animation is great. The opening songs and ending songs have been good. Yeah, I think it's fantastic.
What do you say to the people? Because I see a lot of people kind of disagreeing with that part on the second part of Egghead, you know, with the pacing being an issue on this side of Egghead arc and the heavy use of CGI, especially on the last episode. What would you say to that?
CGI, I didn't particularly mind. The pacing thing, I can't get into without spoiling something that's coming up in the next 10 episodes. But I know, Wells, you know exactly what I'm thinking of, and it got me in a lot of hot water. So when I talked about it in the manga. But I could see that pacing thing maybe being an issue coming up. But I think where you are currently, I think with the only thing I would say is a pacing issue is that one episode after the Kuma flashback going into the stuff where he punches Saturn, where there was a lot of recap.
Yeah.
It's just like them building up for the cool stuff to come, you know.
And I think we said that in the episode too in our
we
reaction.
definitely stated
so
that,
we agree with you. ENT sent a super chat and said, Rob, if you're saying this is for you, Rob. If you're saying Brook is the best skilled and experienced swordsman on the Straw Hats, I understand. But in terms of strength, I don't like Zoro. But
let me just thank you. Thank you.
yeah, but in terms
Also,
of
to
strength,
clarify,
I don't think so.
Real quick, because I see one of my audience members in here, because I do the live reactions to the anime episodes. I saw Max saying, "Don't spoil Roger on what happened in the next episode because he hasn't seen it yet." I actually have seen it because I knew we were going to talk about it on today's thing, so I actually watched it off camera. But next week we have a break from the manga, and so we're going to do an anime reaction coming up the following week. But I have actually already seen it. Yeah.
Okay.
That would have been terrible because we would have definitely spoiled
Don't
you on that one.
I mean, no, you're good. You're good. Yeah, I've seen the Dorian Broggy stuff. You're good.
Okay, cool. We got Jekir donated and said, wasn't here long, but did you guys talk about the whole Shank versus Mihawk debate? We did.
We actually did.
Everybody kind of said Shanks would win.
Yeah.
Everybody,
Which
including
I
my
don't
boy
believe-
Roger.
which I don't
Of
believe
course,
at
of course.
all. I wish Nigel was here to defend me and help me in this because he agrees with me. Mihawk, as of now and later on and forever more, will still always be able to war Zoro.
Wow, that's poetic.
Oh, it was
It
about
was
Shanks.
Okay,
Okay. Okay. Maybe.
Whatever.
Can we
He's
find
on
some
my
middle
mind.
ground? We're gonna find some
We
middle
can
ground
tell.
here real quick. I'm gonna throw something at you right now. Right. I think there is a non-zero chance. This is not spoilers, by the way. This is all speculation, right? After things that I think will happen after the current arc in the manga and the current arc in the anime. None of this is spoilers. This is literally just speculation. I just want to clarify that because people are going to get mad. I think there is a non-zero chance that Shanks dies before getting to Laugh Tale, before the Straw Hats get to Laugh Tale. I think there is a very strong chance that Mihawk outlives Shanks. But I think Shanks, if he went toe-to-toe with Mihawk now, would
With one arm. With one arm.
Yes. But I think, with again, not without getting into spoilers for things happening in the manga, yes, I think even with one arm, he could still beat Mihawk. But I do think Mihawk will be present in the Laugh Tale final arc of the series in a way that I do not necessarily think Shanks will be. And that's all I'm going to say.
Is there any time period you think Mihawk was able to beat Shanks, though? Like, never? Like, when they were younger, nothing?
Well, that was kind of
I
confirmed.
think they were sparring partners. I think they
Yeah.
were sparring partners. You know, I think, like, maybe each one would take it, you know, if they were fighting with each other. And, you know, but Mihawk at the end of the day is still the greatest swordsman. I think if you remove Haki from the equation, I think, yeah, Mihawk probably did beat Shanks a lot when they were training when they were younger. But realistically, I think where we are in the story, again, without getting into too many spoilers, I still think Shanks has beaten Mihawk. But again, I do think Mihawk will outlive Shanks.
Okay.
Yeah, Tokyo is Roger. Let's go. For all you haters out there, Shanks on top. You heard?
Yo, Nigel catching strays is crazy.
yo,
What I'm saying, like, yo,
It ain't just Nigel. There's a lot of people like him that
he's
love
not the only
Mihawk
one.
over Shanks,
Yeah, that's
bro.
a fact.
Like,
He's
there's a
right.
lot of people
He's
out
right.
there in the One Piece fandom.
People
And
fact-
to quote Roger, y'all are dumb. Y'all are dumb.
And without spoiling us, Rogers, can you let us know what we have to look forward to, and not One Piece, but the anime that's fire that you say you're loving right now? The anime that I think is underrated that everyone needs to hop on. I'm talking about the manga you're reading, Boruto. What? Without spoiling
Okay,
us.
let's not go crazy. All right, hold on. First off, I'm reading the Boruto manga. I am not watching the booty cheeks, butt cheeks anime, and I never. So let's clarify that right now. I am not an anime viewer of Boruto. I am a manga reader of Boruto. With that being said, without getting into spoilers, Two Blue Vortex right now, the Boruto manga. I literally just read the new chapter that just came out earlier today on my live stream. I gotta admit, it's actually pretty good.
It's amazing.
I think the direction in which the story is getting into is surprisingly interesting. And I think a huge part of that is because of the fact that Kishimoto is actually on board writing it again, right? Because for so long, he had no involvement. And now it's clear he's like, no, let's get back to that classic Naruto feel. And I feel like they've been doing a great job.
So if there's no way, like, if the new one comes out, they no fillers, like, they really, like, do their thing.
That's I think the issue, right? I feel like they should just wait and do it seasonally and wait until it's done, so we don't have the filler issue that happened with the original Boruto anime, which made so many people drop it and have such a bad idea about it. Because realistically, the core of the story in Boruto is still pretty solid, but it was completely drowned out by all of the excessive filler and all the stuff that
We
happened.
didn't watch it, the fillers. We skipped it. So, you know, we can always give you like a little tutorial if you need to skip some videos.
I'm not going to do that.
I
Thank
feel you. If you ever do, we're here for you.
you
Yo,
very much. I appreciate that.
so this is a great One Piece question. So Uzumaki Broly said, guys, who do you think would win Blackbeard's crew versus Prime Garp's crew?
Prime Garp crew. But also that doesn't make any sense. Garp was not a pirate, he was a marine.
Yeah,
if you're
I
talking
was
Prime Garp
confused.
crew, I'm assuming you mean like young Sengoku, young Akai.
Yeah, the marine-
Prime
yeah.
Kuzan. Then I would say probably Garp's crew, but even realistically where we are in the story right now, I mean, again, Kuzan by himself washed Garp. So I feel like, there's no debate there. Obviously the Blackbeard crew would beat Garp. Yeah.
Then we have Uzumaki Broly also said God Valley the movie would break 1.3 billion for sure.
It won't. I think there's a lot of One Piece fans that think like, I mean, look at the previous One Piece films, right? Like, let's do highest grossing just right now. Highest grossing One Piece films. Let's type this in. We're going to live fact check right now. The number one in the franchise to date was One Piece Film Red. That was the number one. One Piece Film Red made $246 million in Japan. Was the Shanks movie, right? And overall, worldwide, made $246.5 million. I think people really overestimate, because of how popular One Piece is in the mainstream now, how well a One Piece film would do. I think even the only way that a God Valley movie would legitimately break that is if it was actual canon material that they told you in the manga you have to go see the movie to understand this. But people have now been burned 3 times in a row with Stampede and with Roger's crew and with Film Red and with Uta and with Shanks and with the stuff with Film Z and the stuff with
Z was
Admiral.
fire.
I think Z is a fire movie, right? I think
Thank you for that gift you gave us, too.
Yeah.
You gave us a
You're
DVD.
very welcome, of course.
Yeah, it was the film gold.
You're
That's
very
what it was. Yeah.
But I feel like people overestimate the amount to which people would go to the theaters to watch a One Piece film if it is not directly canon to the series, which I think is the really smart thing that Demon Slayer is doing, which obviously is, I think, to the detriment of getting the anime out on time, is they've been doing these theatrical releases, which have made them a ton of money. But the reason they are doing well is because it's actual canon material that is being animated. Imagine if they were like, we're going to do the Egghead arc, right? Everything that happens past the point you are at right now, we're going to do the rest of the Egghead arc as an anime film. And the only way to watch it first before it's actually on TV is to go see the film. Then, of course, it would do major numbers. But One Piece will never do that because there's sponsorships that are tied to the anime. There are, brand deals that are tied to the anime. There are all these other things that are paired with like theming the anime with the manga and spacing everything out. They can't do it in the same way they can with Demon Slayer because Demon Slayer, again, has been over in the manga since COVID. So they can pace things out in a way that they can't pace things out with One Piece.
Well, thank you.
All right. And then we have shout out we have Unk's Clout Farm donated and said, shout out Roger. Guys, get Heat and Huss on to talk One Piece. Roger, you should check them out.
I've heard of them. Shout out to them.
What's their series called?
Heat and Huss?
Yeah, Heat and Huss.
Yeah.
Okay.
Their reaction channel, yeah.
And then we have Riding on E. Donated and said, for everyone, how far do you believe One Piece live action could go before either actors age out or it gets so grandiose that it doesn't look great?
That's a good question.
Damn, considering how long One Piece is, that's actually an understandable question right there. I think that's why they got like younger characters, so they don't have to worry about that as much. But
oh, you talking about for the live?
For the live action,
talking about live action.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like for all shows they do that though.
Yeah, Stranger Things, man. They a lot older.
Said, but X-Men say, yeah, we're going younger. The dude said,
I will say this, just straight up. I don't think it's ever getting post-time skip. Never. I don't think we will ever get to the post-time skip. I think the absolute furthest we'll get in the live action, the absolute furthest after like 6 seasons would be Marineford. That is the last that I do not see it going anywhere past that at the absolute latest. I realistically don't think it's making it out of Skypiea. I think season 3 is probably going to be Alabasta. I think season 4 would probably be Skypiea. And I think knowing the ties with like Gear 5 and Nika and how important that is to Skypiea, that I could see a world in which they're like, continue the manga and the anime from here on out to know more about what's going on with the silhouette in the sky and with Nika and all that. I would love to see Enies Lobby. I would love for them to get to that point. I don't necessarily think with the pacing that they've been releasing the show that we are ever going to get beyond Marineford. In fact, I know we're never going to get beyond Marineford. It's never going to happen. But I think there is potentially an opportunity if it ends up getting to 6 seasons, because if we have the assumption that Jaya Skypiea is like season 4, you then have season 5 be dedicated to Enies Lobby and Water 7, and you then have season 6 be Thriller Bark, Marineford, Impel Down, right? Because Marineford realistically could be like 3 episodes on its own of just fighting. And it's because there's a lot of stuff that's set up at Marineford that really would be set up in previous arcs, especially since they've been tying Garp throughout the story with season 1. But yeah, I think the absolute latest is going to be season 6, and I think the farthest will probably get us Marineford at the absolute farthest, but I think Skypiea is probably where it's going to end.
Okay.
Like that.
Yeah.
And shout out to everybody that's in the chat right now, guys. Make sure you guys stop what you're doing and like it up, guys.
Facts.
And guys, this is the first episodes of our series. We're going to have a guest every episode. And next podcast we have is Top Podcast. We have a bunch of podcasts lined up. So guys, make sure in the comments you put what creators you guys want to see us get to. Make sure you comment that below. And like I said, make sure you go and check this out on Spotify. We are also available on Spotify, YouTube. We're on Patreon. We're on Instagram, TikTok, and so much more. And Roger, let the people know everything you got going on, where they could check you out, your channels, and all that good stuff.
There's a lot of stuff coming up soon. I mean, obviously, we've got the Switch 2 just launched. I just did a bunch of playthroughs. I just finished up Donkey Kong Bonanza. I will have some Metal Gear Solid Delta coming up very soon. I have a very cool video that I have planned that's a fun collab between me, Black Hokage, Phantom, and Connor Sea Dog VA, which is a crazy mix of 4 people that you'd probably never expect would be doing something together. But it's going to be really, really good. That's going to be coming up. I have a bunch of other playthroughs. Obviously, Metroid Prime 4 is coming up. Kirby Air Riders is coming up. I've got a really cool thing that I'm doing internationally next month that I'll be able to talk about later next month. That'll be a really cool video as well. And then obviously I do One Piece every weekend, right? I cover the official release of each new chapter every Sunday morning. We live stream here on YouTube, also on Twitch. I also am doing it now live, like with the vertical version on Instagram Live, so it's available everywhere. So make sure to follow me, Instagram, TikTok, Twitch, YouTube, all over. I've got that brand unity with Rogers Base. And as always, thank you so much for having me. It's always a pleasure talking to you guys.
Always,
man.
Thank you
bro.
for spending your time. We know you're a busy man, and whenever you're free, we could get you into the studio and we could have another
I always make
person
time
live.
for you guys, of
Yeah.
course.
So thank you so
Absolutely. I would love
much.
to.
And is any more
Yeah,
questions?
we'll run through these super chats really quick, man. We appreciate
I
everybody.
was gonna say I got time. Don't worry. If you need me to be here longer, I'm good. I booked out my afternoon, so I'm good. I got 30 minutes
Appreciate you.
probably. I'm chilling.
We got Mo11 donated and said they should have just continued Naruto's story as an adult instead of creating Boruto. Question mark.
Nah. I like Boruto. Boruto's good.
Okay.
Yeah,
And they are continuing his Naruto story through Boruto.
Yeah.
in a
Okay.
sense. Yeah.
exactly.
It's just that Naruto isn't the main character.
Yeah, but he's a
He has
father.
son. He's a father.
Yeah,
You're right.
father.
Ali the second donated and said, I really want to know Roger's opinion about the saying One Piece is the best written fiction.
Currently being published.
Yes, that they said I really want to know Roger's opinion about the saying. Begin quote. One Piece is the best written
I
fiction.
think. I'm gonna pass.
Okay. Okay.
I was thinking of something, and I'm gonna pass actually on that. But
Okay.
I think it is incredibly amazing to see how consistent it has been as long as it has been going on. And I think it rivals the best of comics and graphic novels and anything that's out there. But in terms of all of literature, I don't genuinely believe enough manga fans actually read like regular books that aren't graphic novels and comics to justifiably say it is one of the best things being written right now. I think, again, in terms of a long-running series in all of literature, I would say that it's definitely up there. But I think, yeah, to say it's like the best written piece of fiction of all time, I think is... it's cap.
Okay. Balenciaga's son donated and said, will we be watching Madagascar trilogy? Make sure you lock in our RTTV reacts. We got a lot of great animation. I am sure we will get to it someday. So make sure you have that notification bell ringing there. Our last two here for everybody in the chat, just letting y'all know these are the last two. Truth Crusader donated and said to Roger, speaking on Big Shonen, have you seen JoJo's? And if so, favorite parts?
I have seen all the way up to towards like I think 3 episodes or 4 episodes left in part 4. I didn't love part 4, and I want to finish it to get to part 5, which I know I will love.
Mm-hmm.
I liked Stardust Crusaders. I mean, I liked all 3 of the other parts, and I think there's good things in part 4 as well. But the vibe of part 4 compared to some of the other parts just like didn't really mesh with me, and I just haven't had time to finish it. I do want to at some point one day, because I do think part 5. What's the name of part 5 again?
Golden Wind.
The one in Italy.
Oh,
Yeah, I
Golden
feel
was
like I
fire.
would love that one.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
really
I
good.
will genuinely really love that one. Yeah.
Okay. Malik Black donated and just gonna shout you out because I know you've been here for a long time, bro. He said he asked y'all thoughts on Pokemon ZA. I know we kind of talked about it already at the beginning of the pod, so you can go ahead over to the beginning of the pod to get that one right there. I just didn't want to skip over you, bro. And then we got Mango Monkey donated and said, what are Roger's top 5, including old and current characters in One Piece? It says up to the latest manga chapter, but if it's a spoiler,
Okay.
I will.
Yeah, I'll be.
No spoiler.
You go.
I'll be careful.
He'll be screaming after this,
I
so you
love
guys
Law.
can check that.
Law's number 1. I would say Law's number 1. I will always like Law. Law's my favorite. I love Sabo. I love Big News Morgans. I love Robin, and I love Sanji. There you go.
Okay.
Easy.
Big news, Morgan.
There we go.
Sanji. I'm happy that Sanji's on your list.
I love Sanji. Yeah.
We thank you so much, Roger, for rocking with us, man. It's always a good episode with you here.
Always.
We want to thank all the subscribers out here, all the live people that were watching us horizontally and vertically.
Facts.
Over 800 plus. We appreciate all you guys that were watching with us. And we'll be back September 10th with top podcasts again. Make sure you like this up. You could catch these on Spotify as well. Patreon, YouTube. And like I said, guys, we have so much guests, so make sure you comment below and see who you want to see next on RTTV podcast. And that settles it.
That's what you guys should do.
What he said?
You and King of Lightning would have such a good show. King of Lightning.
Oh, yes. Yeah. I'll reach out to him before I'll definitely this time around for season 3.
Gotta have him.
Yeah, make sure y'all go comment on our Spotify too. Leave us a rating on there. And head over to, we will be back on Apple as well. Everybody that ever gave us a rating there, we appreciate you. All your comments, we see them. We'll be back there as well, so you can get us everywhere you watch your podcast. So, yeah.
And this is season 3, guys. We consistent. We're going to be back to back, so lock in with your new favorite podcast. And that settles it at
The Round Table. Appreciate you, Roger.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, as always, for having me.
You're the man, Roger.
Appreciate it. Anytime, literally. I'm just sad I couldn't come to the actual studio today. I feel like normally I'm there and playing off of the vibe of the studio, but
no, we appreciate it because we wanted to